right, cool. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Monoxide Podcast. I'm your host, Harris, a.k.a. Monoxide, man of many automotive aspirations, and I'm here with my actually sunburned co-host.
Yeah? Is it getting there now?
It's getting there. You're looking a little
right.
less Norwegian now. Mr. Gunnick Garage.
Yep.
And today we are at our second podcast for Power Cruise. So for those that haven't heard of Power Cruise before, it's a common event here, twice a year event here in Minnesota. It's basically a roll racing event, kinda. You know, it's like street racing, but not on the streets. I think that pretty much sums it up. You basically do it twice on a track. We'll talk about it a lot today, I'm sure. But today we have our guests, both White Girl TTR, I knew I'd mess it up, TTRS, a.k.a. Becca, and then, I'm sorry, is it fiance or husband?
Fiance, technically.
All right, Stephan.
Technically.
Yeah,
Pretty much married.
Yeah.
same thing, right?
Yeah.
We had an interesting conversation. I shouldn't drop that conversation. The guy... I shouldn't. That's an off-camera comment. It was funny as hell. It was like, we're married, but not really sort of deal. But I wanted to get you guys on forever, right? Since before TX2K, because you guys have had you've had a hell of a journey. It's been a hell of a weekend for you guys so far as well.
Every time I feel like we've taken the car out this season, it's been something to have to work through.
So take me back to kind of when did White Girl TTRS start?
Started with my S4. Well, actually, like in the car scene, the S4. It started with my license plate, actually. I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee. It was white. And I just wanted to, like, have something a little bit more personal. And it's kind of funny because I think I'm like a typical white girl, Starbucks loving. And
Hey, he had Starbucks yesterday. He's my typical white girl.
Yes. So it started with that. I got the license plate white girl on my Jeep Grand Cherokee that was white, and then we moved it to I had an A4, got an A4. We found it at a Cars and Coffee, and I was like, Stephan, I want that. I want to buy that. And he's like, all right, we'll make it happen. Swap the plates over to that. But then with like actually racing and the Instagram, it was the S4 that I got after.
Okay. And when was that? Like how long ago was that?
That was, when did I have that?
2018, 19, probably.
Okay. So
Was
just
it
pre-COVID kind of deal.
Yeah, it was pre-COVID.
Yes.
That's kind of how our world is now. It's like before or after.
Yeah,
And
it was pre-COVID.
We like entered in doing car shows because that was our thing.
Car
And
shows,
we bonded over car shows, so we just go to car shows together. And then I started buying parts for her car. And
Maybe just a hair up. Yeah. There you go. Team Olympia, I got you.
like sitting on his chest.
All right.
So
and cut.
So so we car shows. We were doing car shows, and then I started making her S4 fast because
After we took it on the drag strip once.
Yeah,
Okay.
she went on the drag strip once.
In
And she
2019.
liked it, and we would go out there with friends and have friendly competition. You know, just race each other, see who's faster, and it was always just fun. And we kind of are competitive people, so like I was like, I want to make it faster.
But more
and-
with ourselves. We're more competitive, I feel like,
Yeah.
with ourselves.
So we're like, I want to make it faster, and she was like, okay. And so I went all out on her S4, and I threw everything I could at it, and then we're like, we could maybe chase the record on this platform. And we did. We chased the record on that platform. And
For, a year?
yeah,
Well-
for a whole season.
Yeah, because in 2019 is when I started racing. But, like, at the end, like in, July, August? Then I got pregnant, so I took 2020 off.
Yep.
And then we picked it back up for one more season.
Yeah.
And then that's when we got the TTRS, after we maxed the S4 out, because we were like, there's nowhere else to go with this. And I wanted to keep going faster. We're like, how badass would it be to get a TTRS?
So do you have a car or anything at this point, or you're just putting everything into her car, getting all this? And
I have a car, but nobody knows what it
Yeah?
is yet. So
Okay.
I sold the RS3. I decided to take a step back from racing because it's a lot of work to race two cars at an event.
Yeah.
And especially at the kind of power level we're at, so it's like got to be really expensive and hard to do. And we always racing each other, so
Yeah.
We
and we'd
finally-
always draw each other. So it's like
we had multiple events where we
I'm
drive
just
each other
throwing
first
money
round.
away.
Really?
Yes, there's multiple events. Or like, okay, we're not going to be in the same class. We'll be good. And then we get stuck in the same class. And it's like, we're running, like he would go first, and then I'd have to go right after him. So he couldn't help with me. I couldn't help with him. And then we're like, then also, we're just wasting money by
Yeah.
By racing each other.
donations. Yeah.
I started, I've always been into cars, and she's wanted to be into cars, and that's I kind of got her into cars.
Yeah.
I had Volkswagens and never
I'm
had
listening.
I never had an Audi, and then she had the A4, and then the S4, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna get an RS3, and then
That was
my
always one of
RS3
his
was
dream
then my
cars.
RS3 was faster than her S4, and she's like, I want to go faster. So
And
I'm
now
like,
it's
all
like
right,
I
now
always need to be faster.
now
That's
it's
like
the
my
TTRS.
goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, we bought the TTRS in what year?
22,
No, was it?
21.
I don't remember, but you were still racing the S4. So we had the S4, the RS3, and the TTRS at the same time. And then we sold the S4 over the winter, and then started building on the TT. So
I love that car, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think everybody loves it. Like
Yeah.
I know your daughter loved her car too at Texas 2K.
Yep.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
mean, it gets so much attention. I
It's
remember
a head turner.
I saw you guys a few years ago. Like I think that was my first time when I messaged you. Was like you guys were in Shakopee filling up at like a holiday or something. Like I think it was a truck and
Oh,
trailer.
yeah, yeah.
And I was like, I tagged you guys. I think that was our first ever conversation.
yeah, I
That could have
remember
been.
that, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it turns a lot of heads. Even when it was just white.
Yeah,
Because it's just
Yeah.
not the TTRS is just not a car that you see out a lot.
No.
It's not a very common one anymore, I feel like.
well, it's also like it's deceiving, right? Like
Very.
because like you think TTRS and you're like, oh, hairdresser car, and then when you see the, I mean, you've heard the ads on the show. It's a hairdresser car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like that platform is crazy. It's also expensive too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, to get a stock one, like a newer one's like what, 70, I think.
No,
Ish.
not,
Oh,
maybe
they
not anymore.
They came down.
Did
so-
they? They finally came
Yeah,
down.
you can.
After Texas 2K, I was looking at them on Marketplace.
Were you?
Yeah.
You're like, I gotta get one.
Yeah.
He talks about them all the time, by the way,
Yeah,
because of
no.
your car.
Yeah, I have.
Thank
So
you.
girls in motorsports, awesome. I have 3 daughters. My wife has a Mustang. Like we do it as a family, and I absolutely love it. So
Hopefully your daughters get into it then.
yeah, I
That'd
think
be
so. Oh, my
badass.
oldest, she went to Texas 2K with us. She's
How
14.
old is she? 14?
Yeah, she was at Cash Days with us. My daughter was out like
She's
2 o'clock
like-
in the morning watching
she's
them
with
film
it.
13, 20 videos. Yeah.
She's with
Yeah.
it. That's good. There needs to be more girls that actually
Yes.
want to race, not race for the attention,
Yep.
but want to actually race to race and just have fun with it. We need more.
Well, I've
girls like
noticed that with you, with everything that you've done with your platform. It's very noticeable that you're just like hardcore racer. Like you just want to.
Just want to race.
I remember that news article that you shared on Instagram and Facebook or whatever. It was
Yeah.
like, was it an interview or what was that?
Yeah, with Kelloland News.
Yeah.
It's a local news station. They
Yep.
reached out to me after Texas
Uh-huh.
to do an article. Yeah.
What was the premise of that article? I read it like a month ago. So like, what exactly were they saying in that?
They just wanted to talk about. Well, they saw that we won, and then they looked back a little bit about the wreck and everything from October,
Oh,
September.
that's right. I forgot about that.
So they're like, looking. They kind of did their own research on my Facebook and social media and stuff, and they're like, let's just talk about your whole journey. Like they were initially just going to talk about the Texas 2K win, and then they wanted to go back and talk about the whole journey and just that I'm a mom that drag races and has fun with it, and it's something that we bond over. That's kind of what the premise of that was.
There's another couple here on campus that one of our friends is saying we should get on the podcast because they do again same thing. They race together. They build. It's like 1,000 horsepower. I think a Holden or something. I don't know, something crazy. And it's just it always seems like it's a good setup, like a good relationship, right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious, when you guys say you compete, right? Like, what are you looking at? Like, are you looking at like slips and just comparing everything, like 60 foots and all that, or what's that look like?
As well, when we're competing against ourselves, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, just being faster than what we were before.
I stopped competing against her.
Yeah, we stopped competing against each other.
It's probably a safe bet.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, like, and the RS3 is obviously a heavier car, so like it takes more power to go as fast as the TT. So yeah, that's kind of why. I mean, plus like once you get to 1,000, like that's the sweet spot on these cars. If you start going over that, you're gonna run into a ton of
Frick,
issues.
man.
Yeah.
We've had, yeah.
Yeah, things start breaking more.
We've had this
so.
conversation so many times recently. Like, there's not very many cars on our platform that are over that, what would you say, 1,100?
Yeah.
1,200 that are in
Right.
that horsepower range. So there's not many people that are pushing it and finding the weak points, and there's not much development.
And there's nobody out there on the platform constantly drag racing these cars.
That's true.
Becca is by far probably the only one on the platform that really constantly drag races all season.
Consistently, all
like
season.
at least every other weekend or at least 2 times a month, like going out to the drag strip and competing and trying to win.
Whether it's a test and tune or it's an event,
and usually
just
it's an
getting out
event.
there.
We really need test and tune now, and we're just keep going to events, and we need to stop and do some test and tune stuff.
Yeah,
because we need
gotta
to
stop
get this
ourselves.
car
Trial by
figured out.
fire
We need to
type
get this
deal.
car
Yeah.
figured
Yeah.
out. But
we're slowly learning that this is just like a totally different ball game from last year's setup to this year's setup.
Mm. And what's the difference between last year's and this year's setup?
So last year was just a little over 1,000, and now I'm at 1,200.
Okay.
So as we sleep the block.
yeah.
You go ahead.
So last year was just like drop-ins, like in the motor, and we work with Ratified on that sort of stuff. So like they built the motor for us, and it was like just drop-ins, basic stuff, and then just a turbo. I don't even remember what size it is. I think it's like a 68 millimeter. So and it made like 1,000 wheel, and then at the end of the season, obviously the wreck and everything, the sleeves cracked in the stock block. Because it is a stock block, just with drop-ins. So we had to sleeve the block and send that out to a guy out in Maryland. I think Maryland or New York.
Okay.
So, and they sleeved it and then got it back, and then you can throw like 1,400 wheel at the block now, and it's good for it. 1,500 too, but nobody's really doing that yet.
Right, because like, what's the fastest TTRS RS3 out there? Like 1,300, 1,400? Is that Hank?
So there's guys like at IROS that are making 1,400 wheel.
Okay.
And like in the RS3s are the ones that kind of hold the record on the platform. RS3 and TTRS are the same car essentially, same chassis, same motor. But the RS3 holds the record. It's like 1,400 wheel and then 7 9s, so in the quarter. And then the TTRS record is like 8.0. And that one's in Chicago from Rad Race Lab. So
okay,
yeah. So that's kind of the records right now in both. So
okay,
but yeah, like I said, there's nobody really pushing the platform. So like those records have been there forever. The TTRS one just came alight.
And they're like,
actually, there was one TT that's in the 7s now. It's
is it?
Yeah, it's overseas now.
oh, Dutter?
It's at Dutter. Yeah,
Okay.
Dutter Racing.
Well, and those cars, again, they go out and they set the record once or twice. Maybe they take those passes once or twice, and then they're done.
When you're at this kind of
I
power,
should say, they're not doing it consistently. They're not
Yeah.
trying to like be
So
consistent with it. Maybe
the car makes 1,200 wheel right now, and you're at that point where I think a lot of people around this power level, they don't compete because shit breaks too easily.
Yep.
So they're taking the car out and they're just hitting glory passes with it, and that's it. I mean, they're basically out there just to try to set records on the platform and go fast, and not really to compete. And we're not really about the record. Like, we want to go for it eventually.
I want the record.
Like, we want to try to get the record.
I gotta point this
But-
out. He's like, we're not really about the record. She looks us dead in the eye.
Yeah.
We're going for the record.
I want the
Like,
She
record.
wants the record.
I want
but
it so bad, but at the same time,
We want to compete and win too.
there's so many
Right.
people that are also in companies that are also behind us that just want to. They want to see the car work, and they want to see the car. I think they know too that we are consistent about going out there and racing, and they want to see this power level try to be consistent.
well, it grows the whole industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like, RS3 and TTRS, like, that's it for like the 5-cylinder, and there's obviously not very many of them being produced.
They stopped making the TTRS
They stopped
now.
making the TT now, and the RS3. They're making the new RS3s, but like, that's the biggest issue with the platform right now is that there's just not enough cars out there, and not enough people pushing it. It's not like a GTR where there's 10 years of these cars being made, and there's everyone out here buying them and trying to build them and make them go fast. So there's a need for companies to build parts and make parts that make those cars hold up against that kind of power. Our platform doesn't have that. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, there's maybe 10 or less cars that make more power than Becca's car right now on the whole
Or
platform.
right around that.
Or right around it.
Whereas
So it's-
GTRs, you go to
GTR,
Texas
yeah.
2K. I
And
mean,
how
look at
many?
me here.
How many are there?
I
How
mean,
many in that DCT class? There was 78 cars in that DCT class, and there's got to be 50 of them are probably GTRs. I was the only TTRS. Well, no, I'm sorry. Miguel was there too.
Yeah.
Last year I was the only TTRS. Sorry. hitting things around.
So a lot of people on our platform compare our cars to the Super platform because they like the new Super platform, the B58, S58, and that's kind of where everyone's saying like that platform's been around about the same time as DAZA, and they're already starting to surpass our platform with faster cars and more people pushing that platform. So, but I think they're producing way more cars. Obviously, they're in the BMW M3s, their G80s. You got those in the Supras as well. So, like, and all that stuff goes hand in hand, and that's why there's just so many more cars out there. So there's more people producing parts because there's more of a demand. We don't have that demand on our platform.
Well, it's like, for example, you go to Texas 2K, they have the B58 shootout.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They have a whole class.
There's not a DAZA shootout.
No, there's a whole class for the Supras.
And
the
the
A90
GTRs,
Supras.
yeah.
And the
I don't
GTRs. I mean, they get a whole class for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. If they were to try to like do like a DAZA class, I don't think they'd have a good
You
turnout.
just said there wasn't, so there's not a lot of them. Is there enough people that want to compete in that class that they can do something like that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, and I think
Yeah.
everybody is from like everywhere. I mean, there's so many. We're all spread out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to get everybody that's fast together, that would be a lot. I don't think it'd happen. I mean,
And it'd have to be like a one-time-a-year thing.
So,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think Texas, like, we were really hoping to meet a lot of the guys that we haven't met on the platform and didn't really meet any of them that we want to do. You know, a couple of them, but like the next big event coming up is going to be FL2K, Florida 2K. And
You guys are going to that?
yeah,
then?
we're going to that in
Yeah.
October, and the plan is to meet up with like Rad Race Lab, Iros, all those companies that are like big dogs on our platform. But we'll see. Hopefully they all come out. I mean, I think that's the plan at this point. So I think that's where you'll see the most cars on our platform is probably at that event.
Okay.
So, and there is quite a few cars in Florida that are drag racing and pushing the platform too. So,
They did have the the World Cup,
yeah,
but not a lot of DAZAs even showed up
no,
to that.
like the Haltech World Cup. Is that what the one?
the
Which one are you
it
talking
used to be
about?
called GTR World Cup or
Oh,
whatever.
DCT or World Cup.
GT.
Yeah, they canceled that this year because they didn't
That's
have enough
right,
people.
yeah. Yep,
They didn't
yeah, I
have
saw
people,
that.
so that's like
Really?
prime example right there, where they do try to get the cars together, and then still nobody shows up. Just
It
Well,
was a
and-
tough year for
there's that.
Yeah.
everybody, I
Yes.
think.
I agree. But like that, I don't know a lot about that event, but I know it's really expensive to actually race it. I think it's
Really?
like $2,000 to
Oh, wow.
race it. Like that's your entry, and they like give out like a $15,000 watch at like their pre-party and stuff.
Oh.
And like there's like an
So it's bougier.
Yeah, it's like really high class. Like
Okay.
We're not there.
and-
We're not. I'm not paying $2,000.
I don't think I really
no
want
offense.
to travel 24 hours down to Florida for this, pay $2,000 just to go out first round. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'd rather go to somewhere else where I can pay $150 for her to race for the weekend.
Before we get too far into the show, I wanted to take a moment to talk about Raise a Hood. If your daily driver is having issues, aka your beater you got off Craigslist, Raise a Hood's telemechanics and AI tools can help you diagnose and solve the issues you may be dealing with for a fraction of the cost. All you have to do is add your car to the Raise a Hood garage to get started. You can provide the AI tool, also known as Gus, with the specifics of the issues you're having, and it'll help you narrow down what the culprit is. It's a great way to bounce ideas off of to figure out what actually might be the problem. You could then select from a variety of solutions to explore the cost and difficulty of doing the repair yourself versus taking it to a shop. If your car doesn't have detailed solutions yet, that's totally fine. Just go ahead and add your car to the garage for free, and that'll let the Raise a Hood team know what to focus on as they continue to develop and grow. If you want to try out Gus or chat with a telemechanic, go to raiseahood.com and add your car to the garage to get started. Use code MONOXIDE-FREE for a 1-month free subscription or Monoxide20 to save 20% on a 30-minute call with a telemechanic. Let's get back to the show.
I mean,
Do you guys have your eyes on another platform? Like when you max this out, or with all of these challenges that you're having with getting it together, is there another, like, okay, we've hit this level, now we need to go here?
Are you loyalists?
I love Audi.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty loyal.
And if I'll be honest, like I've thought about it like multiple times. Like at least for me,
Hold the phone.
I would keep her on DAZA.
Hold the phone.
Yeah.
He wanted to get out of an Audi after he sold his RS3.
Mhm.
I about cried. You can't be out of it. If I'm in it, he's in it. That's it.
Yeah.
If I'm an
Nah,
Audi, he's an Audi.
I've had thoughts of getting into a different platform, pushing a new platform, like the Supra platform, like the new
Nah.
Supra.
Yeah.
Nah.
The new
What about
G80.
an R8?
Oh,
they,
Yeah,
No.
that's my next move. But here's the
Okay.
thing. I look at R8s.
No?
No,
I have a
not for
lot
me.
of friends in the R8 world. So it's like I know a lot about it. I know what it takes to make that kind of power. And I know what it's going to take to get it to go as fast as what we're already going. And it's way more money than what we're doing right now. I
Yeah.
can tell you that right now. I mean, to get an R8 twin turboed, build a trans, get it to go like low eights like we're going right now, I mean, you're talking $250,000, $300,000. I mean, and then
Yeah.
stuff's still going to break, and it's way more expensive to fix.
Yeah, supercar
So, like,
tax.
So, like, that was our whole thing. Like, when we first started into the DAZA platform, we're like, we'll dabble
work-
in this
yeah,
for a
we'll
little
work up
bit,
to
and
an
then
R8.
we'll work
Yeah.
up and maybe eventually have 2 R8s. And I'm like, not anymore. Like, I can't do that. Like,
Yeah,
it's
fuck
way
that.
too expensive, you know? So,
Well, you guys probably already have Ratified on retainer, I assume.
something like that. I mean, they've been really good to us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they're
they have.
super, super good people. They're pretty much like family to us.
Do you
I
want
just
to
think so.
explain kind of what that relationship with Ratified looks like? Again with the
Yeah.
not silent?
Oh, I'm sorry.
These-
I don't have any friends or anybody that likes me, so I don't know.
This happened 2 episodes in a row. I'm like, these Android guys, man. Yeah, okay. I mean, I have good friends here. Okay, just checking. Finally, I have a number of you. We have this constant thing when guests show up with Androids, they gang up on me. So thank you.
Oh,
Thank you
for
we're
being
iPhone
you.
people.
Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're good.
But anyway, so explain what that relationship with Ratified looks like, because it's not exactly like they do everything 100%, or what exactly is it?
So yeah, I have a used car dealership. So like, and I've always worked on cars. So like, I like to do my own stuff. I have my own shop. I have a hoist, everything. So I try to do as much as I can do. When it comes to like building the internals on these cars, I don't want to touch that because if I mess it up, it's a lot of money to fix it. So I'd rather pay a shop that knows what they're doing, and that's where Ratified came in. So when I got my RS3, I reached out to try to find someone close to us that I could have build my RS3, and that's when Rat came into the picture.
It's actually funny. You got to backtrack. When we first met Rat, we met him when I had my S4 at that Wisconsin.
No, we never met him. He wasn't there.
Oh, he wasn't okay, but that's where we first heard about him because I won an award for my S4, and it was the
Haldex
the
clutches.
Haldex clutches
In the shapes of Audi
for
rings.
in the shape of an Audi in the Audi rings. That was my award out of a TTRS or a 5-cylinder,
RS3.
whatever it was. Yeah, okay.
It was his RS3.
Was it?
Yeah.
Which is just like full circle because it's like at that point we didn't have plans.
We didn't know who he was.
We didn't know who he was, and we also did not have plans to get into a 5-cylinder, and we didn't know who he was. And now here we are.
I was in my RS3.
Oh, were you? Okay. Sorry. But at that point, like for me, we didn't have plans yet for anything like that. We were still pushing the S4
Well, yeah, you didn't have a TT yet, but that was the summer you bought the TT at the end of the summer.
at the end of it. Yeah.
So, but I had the RS3, and I was looking for someone to build my RS3, and then we went to Nerdtechnic. No, we met him the first time we met him was at Minneapolis Mile.
Gotcha.
We were doing car show stuff.
Either way, it was just it was such a full circle moment to like. We had no idea who he was. I won the award with like parts out of the 5-cylinder, and now here we are, and we're like family.
Yeah.
However many years later, and
There's
Yeah.
such good stuff, man. Like, we were just
Yeah.
hanging out in their camp
Yeah.
yesterday. We didn't see, I think I saw you at the camp yesterday, but just a nice big circle of guys. And, like, all of his employees that, like, you know, that I've talked to, like, regularly, like, they're all super sharp, too. Like, it's pretty awesome, like, hosting the podcast out. It just kind of worked out that way.
Yeah.
That was not, like, the plan, like, 3 years ago or whatever.
Well, you guys are
Yeah.
neighbors.
Well, dude,
Kind of.
Well, do I take the opportunity to say it on the podcast? I got a bone to
They're
pick with her.
super welcoming. Anyway, I'm a Ford guy, and I hang out in that shop, and I look around, and it's just cool shit going on there. And
Yeah.
they take time to explain to me what's going on, and watching the dyno polls.
You
I
walk
mean,
in there,
yeah.
you walk in there, and it don't feel like you're in a business. It feels like you're in their hobby shop
Yeah.
and just hanging out.
It
and,
does, yeah.
like if they're in the middle of something, they just stop and have a conversation with you. If you're
To a point, too, though, right? You get some of these guys that stay there for a few hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I know.
when we were at Texas and we were working at that shop on my car, they were all just like a bunch of bros just hanging
Yeah,
out, working
yeah.
on the car. Like, and I asked them, I'm like, "Is this how you guys work at Ratified?" And they're like, "Yep."
I feel like we should continue on the beginning and then lead up to like
What?
Well, because like
He's got his
we're
own
kind of
idea of
jumping
how this is
around.
gonna go.
We're jumping around a lot right now.
No, that's
so
cool.
I'm like,
it does tend to
I'm
happen.
keeping it mostly on track. You're doing good.
So So back to like meeting Rat and all that. I needed someone to build the RS3, so I wanted to do most of the work I could myself. So I ended up just taking my motor. I took my motor and my trans to him, and they assembled everything, and then I brought it back to South Dakota, put everything in my car. I did that with my car, and I did that with her TT when we started on that. And then I've started to do more stuff recently because we're breaking more stuff, and I can't make a trip to Ratified every other weekend. But yeah, so that's kind of how we met Rat and got hooked up on that. I don't know. I mean, Rat's big into the 5-cylinders, obviously, and I think he sees our dedication, and so I think that's kind of why, like, we all kind of it's like, I don't know. He
I think that sums it up pretty well.
yeah.
So I don't know where you're going. Like,
I'm trying to think, but yeah.
I don't think there's any more words. Like,
No,
that's just,
yeah.
and like you said, they're such good guys, and anytime that there's anything, like, especially wrong with my car recently, they're all hands on deck, no matter what. Like, let's get it going.
The dedication and the passion for the platform is matched between you guys. So that's I think why it jives so well.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's a huge thing we see with, especially on this podcast. Oh my God, the nightmare stories, especially off-air to stuff that we hear. It's like you have to have that synergy with the shop, you know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, your goals have to match what they do, and it seems like that does in this instance.
Definitely
Yeah.
does. Yeah, I feel like we're family.
I mean, like, Blake just helped us. Well, not us, Stephan. Change the alternator, and he was like, "I don't want anything for it. I just want you guys to be grateful and thankful." I'm like, "That we are."
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't, he just jumped right in. He's like, "I'm not going to have you guys drive all this way to go 2 laps around there, and
these
your alternator
guys-
gave a shit. Like,
Yeah.
we're fixing this." Stephan was about to load it in the trailer.
These guys, yeah. Well, I need to bring. So let's back up again. So you always jump to it. So
That's
like,
your next T-shirt, by the way. Let's back up.
Let's
again.
back up again.
So yeah. Do you want to just go through like
What?
Texas and stuff and?
We could start with Texas.
Yeah,
Did
what do you
was
wanna-
there, was
what do
there
you wanna-
anything before Texas? Because obviously, getting to this point, like, there's been
right.
some trials and tribulations, right?
Yes.
Was there anything before? Because Texas in itself is a
That was
crazy
a-
story.
That's like an hour-long story, I feel like.
So start on like when you were stock, because that season was just pushing the stock turbo stock motor.
Yeah, I did that for a season.
To try to get a 9-second pass
Yep. Hit my 9-second pass on the stock motor, stock turbo,
on the TT.
on the TTRS.
And then
I wanted to go
one
for
more.
8s.
Yeah, you wanted more.
I wanted more.
The plan was to build it because I already had a built RS3 and she knew what that was like.
Yeah,
and she wanted to
with
be.
he had an 850 kit
Yeah, mine made like 900 wheel or close
Yeah.
to it. So
from IROS.
yep.
Well,
But and then the next season was 1,000 wheels, so we went from
So
like
we-
550 to
So I
1,000,
doubled it, yeah.
and that was like a really big jump for her because she went from 9 nines
Yep.
to like
8
8
nines.
sevens
Yeah.
in the quarter.
And I had never
Yeah.
even like been in anything as fast as my TTRS besides his RS3. I'd never driven or ridden in anything
So on,
with 1,000 horsepower. So I'm like, let's just do it.
we're not building these cars to chase that kind of stuff. We just want to compete and try to win events, and that's kind of been our thing.
That was last season. Like last
season we were really trying to win a lot of events.
we wanted to prove that like this car can be competitive and consistent, and I think we did that with the IMS 1000 kit.
We really dialed it in come I would say September.
September was a huge
was a
month.
huge month. Lots of stuff happened in September. We started out with, in the beginning, was Beater Bombs race in Omaha, and
Took second place.
yeah, you took second place.
And I'm going to count second place as a win. Coming from I wouldn't even make it past first round all season. And then to, like, go rounds and just be runner-up and, like, prove that I can, like, run with some of these guys. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to take second place as a win. I know some people don't think of it that way, but...
Ricky Bobby, we were talking about this
we were talking about that
yesterday.
earlier today, yeah.
If you ain't first, you're
You
last.
ain't first, you're last. And I'm just like, if I can make it past first round, I fucking won.
Well, it's progress, right?
It's
Like,
progress. Yeah. So, yeah, we got runner-up in that
Yeah.
one.
And when
then,
was that again?
What was that?
When was that?
8th mile.
It
It was the 8th. Yeah, it was the 8th mile.
beginning of September.
Yep.
Of
8th mile.
2023.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, just last year, and then that was 8th mile.
And then it was the 1320.
No prep.
Yeah.
Then
Then it was a 1320 roll race invitational.
Mm.
And they had capped that at, 1,200 horsepower?
Yep.
And it was obviously invite-only cars, roll racing. I don't enjoy roll racing. It's not my cup of tea. Everyone thinks it's funny when I do roll race, and then I won that event. So then they all had to give me shit for it, of course, like the Ratified guys did, because they know I won't roll race. Anytime that we'd come up to Minnesota to hang out, I'm like, let's get some dig races. And everyone's like, we don't dig race here. But anyways, yeah, so we did the roll race, and that's actually the event that we drew each other first round. And we thought that we'd be put into different classes, because they broke it up into 3 classes. And he was also in the fastest class with me, and then we raced each other first round. And I'm like, well, that was shitty. But whatever.
And then who got eliminated?
I did.
You
he
did?
got eliminated.
Yeah.
He's making 900. I was making
Right.
1,000.
And,
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was a
was-
fun one.
yep.
And then what was after that?
And then the next one was Ice Cream Cruise.
Ice Cream Cruise. Oh yeah, and then I ran the Gangster Street class
Yep.
Friday night. Took 2nd place.
Yep.
Like,
And
and the
then-
year before that, I tried to race that, I think, in Gangsters, and I went out first round. So I was like, this is baller.
So then,
So that was cool.
yeah. And you would have raced more that weekend, but then the high
Right.
pressure fuel pump went out.
That's true. Yep.
So
Yep.
then you were done for the weekend and didn't get. We're hoping to get runs in this Ice Cream Cruise because Boosted Boys was there, Sketchy Vert was there.
They were pretty interested. Well, I thought, anyways.
And like Boosted Boys had his cyber cart. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't yet, no.
So he's
I
got
should
a,
really pay
a
attention
Tesla
more.
that's gutted and like it's the body's off of it.
It's like a little go kart, but it's
It was like a little
Oh,
go
really?
kart.
Yeah.
But now he put his Honda Odyssey van on top of it. So now it's a Honda Odyssey with a Tesla. So it's got a Honda Odyssey body and then a Tesla.
We're getting off
So,
track here.
but anyways, yeah.
Yeah, it's all you. No.
Sorry.
So, but
But
yeah.
before you continue, though, I want to ask, so what do you attribute that success to? It's not just horsepower, right? It's
No.
seat time as well. Is there anything that you've kind of learned in that, 7-month period that just made you a better driver?
I don't even know. I don't even know if it's just driving. I mean, obviously seat time, but like just getting the car dialed and getting out there and testing it and figuring out what works and what doesn't work. And
yeah.
When they
I
do
don't.
the drag race stuff, does your reaction time come into account too, or is it just when you left? I don't really
Reaction
know how.
time does matter.
It does matter. Okay.
It does matter.
Yep.
And my reaction time sucks. I gotta
Oh,
work.
really?
I gotta
Okay.
work. They always say girls have better reaction time. I'm here to
Well-
prove you wrong.
Yeah.
All these cars we're racing against go off a button.
Yeah.
Trans brake.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
We
they
don't
got
have trans brake.
no.
We have a foot brake. So like
Okay.
she has to let
I'm-
off the foot brake
I'm
and then the
leaving
car
off the
takes
foot
off.
brake,
So
and-
there's a delay.
And there's a delay because of the DCT.
Yeah.
There's a,
I'm noticing that. So in the GT500 under the bridge, I almost need to punch it before.
you got to go on 2, basically.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to jump them
Right.
to make it actually when you're going and they're going on 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a delay. So that sucks. But no, I think that we just, we spent all summer last year just dialing the car and figuring out what works and what doesn't. And, thankfully we have a good tuner on our side and
Well, then you got into
he has
the
good
wreck.
support. And yeah.
You got into the wreck after that at the end of September.
Yeah,
That
end of
ended
September.
the season.
End of the season. We had one more that we wanted to go to, but then obviously I got into the wreck at a no prep event. The guy ran into me, and that was done. Then we were done for. So
How does that work when you're competing like that and somebody else hits you? I mean, do they take care of it or help out in any way? I'm assuming insurance goes, hey, we're not dealing with any track shit.
no, you just people say? What you just charge it to the game?
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I've always heard.
Yeah.
Just charge it to the game. You just.
I don't think you can even insure a drag event.
I think you can. I think there's special insurance.
We found out
Really?
that you can get event insurance.
but you pay per event.
Yeah.
You pay
And you're
per
going
event.
every weekend
You pay
to an
per
event,
event,
Yeah, that gets expensive.
yeah.
and then also the coverage is just really bad. They only cover like 40%,
Oh.
Yeah.
but it's at least some coverage. You're not completely out. The reason I heard about that is because there's guys that drift cars that are really expensive, and sometimes you drift into a wall or something. You hit something.
Mustangs,
And
I
you
get it.
wreck it. So like, yeah, I
Dodges.
mean, and those guys do it all the time, and they can't just keep, if that happens, like they can't just keep fixing it like that. So
Right.
there is event insurance, but they only cover a certain percent. So
In my instance, though, it was just we had to fix it ourselves.
we just take the
Yeah.
we take the risk, and it's a really crappy situation. Obviously, the guy should have let out, and didn't let out. And
Yeah.
That footage was gnarly.
Yeah. That was after that. I actually had a company reach out to like license the video because it went so viral. Like everyone saw. Yeah.
When the GTR burned down at SEMA, I had it wasn't Fail Army. Who was the other one? It might have been Fail Army.
That's what Fail Army was mine. That's who they reached out to me for.
I think it was that one. And what's the other one? What's the pizza guy's company?
Oh, Barstool Sports.
Yeah, I think that's the other one. That typically, so it's either that or Fail Army that usually reaches out for that viral stuff. And they asked for the GTR video, but nothing came of that. I'm like, that's fine. I made my TikTok money off it. But
yeah.
So how much damage were you looking at after that?
It's mainly cosmetic.
Okay, well that's.
I mean,
besides your motor was cracked. And
the motor, the block was. But that wasn't a result of the accident.
No, it was cracked when we went to that event.
It's cosmetic when it turns into a table.
It just happened all at once.
We had a suspicion that it was cracked.
Yeah.
Going into that event, and then when we got into the wreck, that was just like icing on the cake. We already knew that at the end of the season, we're gonna have to put some money into the motor, and then the wreck happened. I'm like, now we got to put money into the body also. Just
icing on the cake is your next T-shirt, by the way.
Yeah,
because you said that I think the last weekend too.
Did I?
I think
everything's icing on the cake. Like the cherry on top. Everything's food related.
It's all gravy.
So you said you had a used car dealership. So you got like probably body shops and stuff. You got some people that.
I got a lot of friends that are in like the car industry. So I mean, I had a friend that helped me do it. You know, so. Luckily enough, like I took it to my buddy's body shop, and he does PDR. He was able to PDR most of the stuff on the rear quarter.
Okay.
And then he just repainted, and we were able to get it smoothed out pretty good. New side skirt, new door.
The door had to be completely replaced.
New fender, new bumper. You know, so like, I mean, I salvaged the fender and the front bumper. I want to eventually get a new one, but I mean,
it's not perfect yet.
It's not perfect, but like we're also not doing car shows, like we're racing, so like if I make it perfect, it's just gonna get wrecked again anyway. So it's like somebody's gonna dording it or something, you know. So
it just grinds my gears though, just not seeing it like in perfect state. I don't know. That just like it really. He knew how much I struggled after that. Just seeing like my car was perfect body wise to begin with, and then. All winter long, I just like left such a bad taste in my mouth. I'm like, oh, I was disgusted with my car. I'm being honest.
Not everybody does, right?
I see it. Yeah,
biggest critic of their own car.
I know. Everyone's like, even here this weekend, they're all like, it looks good. It like, still
just fix it with some
head.
ramen and toothpaste.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, look at it. It's a 50-foot car. Don't look at it too close.
Well, you could never. At this point, you could never tell it was in a wreck.
No.
I mean, it's fixed, but it's not perfect, and I didn't want to make it perfect, so. I think if I make it perfect, they say don't fix everything because like my buddy, that's his go-to. If you fix everything, something's bound to happen, you know, at some point. You know,
it's a race car.
Yeah.
You know, so we didn't. I mean, fixing it $6,000 to $8,000 somewhere in there, out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even try for insurance. We knew the answer. Plus, I was afraid my insurance would just drop me. You know, I mean, if they found out we were out
with the car,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
See ya, like bye.
Yeah.
So we decided
not to.
Make sure you tag
Progressive when you upload this. Okay?
Yeah.
No. Flo
State
can
Farm.
go fuck herself.
State Farm.
State Farm.
Khakis.
Yeah.
What goes through your head when you go in a crash like that, right? Because like first of all, like in that video, like it looked like you just kind of reacted as you should have. All the comments were like pretty supportive, like how you handled the situation. Because that's your first wreck, I think, right?
That was the first time I ever wrecked. Everyone was like, "You were cool as a cucumber. Like you did great." And I'm like, I was internally freaking the fuck out. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
You're good.
But
yes,
like,
yep. We'll just add a beep for the highlight. We're fine.
Okay, cool. I mean, all I could think about was like, oh shit. And then also pull the chute. I've said this so many times too. Stephan and I would always talk about like when we put the parachute on my car, like if you ever feel like you need to pull it because you are in a wreck or getting squirrely or you can't stop, whatever, just pull the chute. It's not going to hurt to pull it.
Right.
So that's what I did. I just reacted as quickly as I could to get my hand on the chute and just get the car stopped.
Yeah, kept the car on the pavement.
Keep the car on the pavement and not go in the ditch.
Because it was going towards the ditch.
Yeah, I think if I wouldn't have pulled the parachute, I would have been right down in that ditch with him because as soon as I pulled the chute and it deployed, it whipped my ass end back around and I just, it kind of just circled around me.
Yeah,
I suppose if you're getting squirrely, that would even straighten you back out.
Yes.
It does.
Pull you back
Yeah.
in a straight
It
line.
does,
Okay.
yeah.
Pulls you in a straight
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
But she was so sideways, so she was sideways, almost
I was almost backwards sliding
sliding
wow.
sideways
when
in
I
the
pulled
ditch.
the chute.
And so with the force of pulling her back the other way, it whipped her back around. So she still ended up, she almost did like a complete 180, then a 180 back the other way, because she wound up facing the way she came and in the middle of the
airstrip, yeah.
So like if she wouldn't have pulled it, she would have been in the ditch. So
Wow.
it's a good thing she pulled it. We practiced those things.
I was gonna say, how much
talked about
practice
it.
did you do beforehand?
My first time ever pulling the chute was at Texas 2K in 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I would pull it even if I didn't need it, just to get used to
it. Yeah.
grabbing and how much force do I need to pull, you know.
Where's it set up, by the way, to pull?
So many people think it's like a e-brake or like a drift handle. It's by my passenger seat. It's like my shift knob is right next to me, whatever. It's right
Kind of
next,
by the shift knob.
kind of by the shift knob.
Okay.
Most people put it like on their roll bars or like put it up by their
Right.
head.
Up or something.
Or they, it's a push one. I pull it. It's just
Gotcha.
easier for me.
Yeah, that's something I heard, especially hanging around the Nth Moto crowd, is you want to practice for that, right? Because
Yes.
you don't want to be figuring out where your parachute is, doing a $180 at the end of, the strip,
Exactly.
So it's a good thing, again.
This is where reaction time comes into play again.
Yeah. I have good
practice.
reaction time with that, just not with my damn foot.
Well, you just fall down to your training, too, right? It's like the more seat time you have. Like, some people, like, are naturally gifted. Like, for example, like, Coy Christmas's son, like, however many years ago, I think he cut, like, a 0 flat on the tree or whatever. It was just crazy. But it's like, and he's a young kid, but it's like some of those things like you could just practice. Like in 10 years, we'll see where you're at, or 5 years or 2 years, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, that was crazy. I mean, it looked like you were very experienced, obviously, and that you were just ready for that, so that was good.
I kind of anticipated a tiny bit because I could see him coming. If you watch the video, you can see, like, at least I know my eyes shifted. I saw him, and I had this, like, oh, shit, like when you like hit a deer, you're not supposed to swerve away from it, and that's all that I could think of. Like, don't swerve away from the accident. Like, there's no way I could avoid it. It was going to happen no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So just have to brace and get ready, and pull the chute when you can.
Yeah. So like, the guy that hit her, like, they like packed up and just left.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it's kind of. I'm still like pissed off to this day. Like
at least come up and check on you or
I
something?
mean, he did.
Oh, okay.
He did, but like, I mean, it's kind of been some drama a little bit. Not recently, but like the months
Right after
after.
it.
Obviously the videos went viral, and
I don't think he liked that very much.
They didn't like it because they had a lot of friends like that were in their camp that were commenting. They're from like Fargo area, the Cyclone is. And so, like, they had a lot of friends that were with them that would comment and chime in on, like, the TikTok videos and stuff like that. And they, like, tried to make Becca be,
Look
like, the
bad.
bad person. So, like, when she got into the wreck, her first instinct was to check on him.
I jumped out I was, like, shaking. I put my car in park. I turned it off. I was shaking, and I was, like, whipped my belt off as fast as I could because I saw that he was down in the ditch. My first reaction was to get out and make sure that, like, I got a thumbs up, I'm okay, something from him, a verbal, to make sure that he didn't, I don't know, hit his head or pass out or I don't know, anything. Or
Right.
I just want to make sure he was okay, too. That was my immediate response.
So he was obviously out of the groove right in the beginning, and he got back in it, and then he got out. He should have let out at the end because he was squirrely at the end, and he got disqualified technically when he got out of the groove in the beginning. But he decided he wanted to get back in it anyways. So, I was pissed. So, I mean, when I got down there, I let him have it,
Yeah.
I wanted to beat him up, but I didn't do that. But, like, that was, like, my thing. Check, make sure she was okay. By the time I got down there,
I was already
she
out
was
the
already
car.
out. She checked on him, made sure he was okay. And then, like, they tried to make her be the bad person because
Online.
we didn't post any video footage of like us standing around after the wreck.
Well, there was no
which
video footage of it.
You see after she checked to make sure he was okay.
I freaked out.
We both freaked out. I mean, it's the
I didn't even
natural
look-
reaction. He
I didn't
fucked
even-
the whole car up.
I didn't even look at my car before I checked on him.
No,
Like,
because
I
it was a
literally-
passenger side.
I literally jumped out and I checked on him, made sure he was okay, he came up to me, made sure I was okay, and then I went back and looked at my car, and I'll admit,
I mean, she threw her helmet.
I threw my
she
helmet.
threw her
I
helmet
was
on the
fucking
ground. She was
pissed.
mad. I mean,
well, when you work
all
so
yeah.
hard all
absolutely.
season long,
and someone decides to just be a hero and run right into the side of you.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. It's part of racing, but like at some point, you just got to let out and just take the L because you just fucked everything up for us, you know. So like,
yeah,
and it was a bad deal, especially like when you like throw in the mix of like we just cracked the block, you know. So like now we got to rebuild the motor and I got to rebuild the body, and we're all out of our pocket, you know. So like for
and
him,
it's not like it's a cheap repair for any of that.
Yeah.
All of it's expensive to fix too, which again we run that risk knowing that we're running this platform.
Right, that's part of it. Yeah,
it is part of it, but like
part of it is also preventable too.
It's very
frustrating thing is.
Yeah.
Now, part of it, yes, it is racing. Things do happen, but at the same time, like if you watch the video, he was a decent bit behind, I think.
Well,
right?
I think part of racing is also making sure you don't hit somebody else, right? Like that's part of knowing when to let off, when to do things. You're training yourself. Like that's not just you want to make sure you're safe. You're also not trying to throw your car into a crowd or another car. Like that's part of.
At the end of the day, we all have families to go home to. We all have somebody to go home to, and like I know when I race, that's what I think about. Like. I'm not just sitting here thinking about myself and I want to get down the track and I want to be the fastest and I want to win. No, like the person next to me, I don't know what they've got going on. They might have a wife, a kids, a husband. They might.
Yep.
I don't know what's going on with them, but they want to go home safe too.
So yeah, they tried to make Becca be the bad person on all those
because
videos.
I got pissed about my car and I threw my helmet.
That was their thing. Yeah, you see this part of the video, but you don't see
her
10
mad.
seconds after the end of this video. Well, come on,
because
dude,
everyone was like on the internet, you know, they were kind of praising me of I'm glad you checked on him.
Yeah.
Well,
they were so
but you didn't see after when she got pissed.
They didn't say sorry, and if they did, he said it like instantly when she had adrenaline running through her, you know, and she didn't.
My helmet was still freaking
you know,
on and shit,
like maybe he apologized. Becca doesn't remember. She doesn't remember a lot right after the wreck because
I like
kind of blacked out
and just
situation, you know. So like, but other than that, like they didn't come up to us like
in the pits
after or anything. And they never said sorry. They just loaded and left. And yeah, I mean,
is there like a code of ethics amongst like drag racing? Like people get hit, like it happens, right? Yeah. But is it typical though for like whoever hit the other person to go be like, hey, I'll pay for half or I'll do something. Sorry, this was my fault. Is that like a normal thing that happens or doesn't happen?
I feel like it should be. I know that if it were me and I know that it was my fault and it was preventable, I would definitely try to make it right in whatever way I can.
Have alligator arms, like, oh, I'll give you something.
In whatever way I can. Am I gonna? If I can afford the whole thing, great. But like,
if I can buy you a $500 door or a freaking fender,
if I can help you get parts, if I can help you find a shop that will work with you, any sort of way.
That's difficult though, right? Because like if you go back to chalking it up to the game, right? It's like what like. Sometimes something is so blatantly like, all right, you're being stupid. This is 100% your fault. You should take something. But then it's like, how do you distinguish that? You know, because then there's also levels of experience, right? Like if Dan goes out there for his first time drag races, you know, he makes a mistake, whereas a seasoned veteran that's been doing this for a while just chooses to be stupid. That's different than being naive and stupid, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard. It makes it difficult, you know. I don't know. That's a tough one. I would not. I would not want to make that decision. I
think that it just goes down to like, you know, the code of ethics of like. I think that just goes down to yourself then. Your own values and morals. And, you know, like I was always taught growing up, like you never get into somebody else's car and drive it if you don't think that you can afford to fix it if you break it.
Hold on, I'm driving his GT500 on Monday. Don't say that.
But you know what? That's how I was raised. So if that's how I was raised and I won't ever get into somebody else's car and drive it if I don't think that I'd be able to replace it and fix it.
I'll take out a loan to fix it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, like... It's not the money, like it's just the respect, like just. I mean, I get it. We're gonna be pissed in the moment, but give it 15-20 minutes and just come have a conversation with us. You know, and they didn't. You know, it's like, they didn't have a conversation with us, and they just left. And yeah, I mean, the only thing that came good out of that situation is that it was the semifinals. He was disqualified. She automatically was in finals.
But
obviously
also that
couldn't race.
Punches me in the gut too, because if I would have been able to race,
we just got lucky. We got lucky because the guy that she was gonna race in the finals, was the promoter of the event, and he was cool. So it was a $6,000 pot. We split it. So she was able to take home $3,000 at least.
To split it.
So that helps, but like, I mean, it didn't cover half, you know. So it's like, but it's like, again, it's not about the money. It's more about the respect. Like, come say you're sorry, or shoot me a message after the fact, or shoot her a message after and be like, I'm sorry. Like, it's, you know, if there's anything I can do to help, I'll help you. But I mean,
that's just what we would do.
I have friends.
Right, yep.
I have friends in the no prep world that have been ran into. I had a buddy last year that got ran into twice, like, and I think like most of the guys came up and apologized and handed him some money. You know, like, that's the thing. Like, I had a buddy that caused a wreck, you know, and hit the other person, and he offered him money, and his friends offered him money, like. And the money they had in the pocket, even if it was a couple $100, like, here, like, this will, you know, help you at least somehow.
Yeah, I get it.
Right.
You know, like, so.
A lot of you guys know Ratified Motorsport for their RS3, TTRS, 1,000 horsepower hairdresser car builds, but they are so much more than that. From basic maintenance on an R35 GTR to, you know, cute little Volkswagen GTIs like mine, they're able to do a little bit of everything. Whether it's your basic maintenance or an intake and a tune or even a full-blown build, be sure to go to ratifiedmotorsport.com to get yourself booked today, and I hope to see you guys at the shop. Longtime listeners of the show know that I don't like to peddle BS. Whether it's my own merch or the people I represent, I want to make sure that my listeners are getting the best quality stuff. That said, we had the Lunatic team on a podcast on episode 57, and they talked about their awesome detailing products. My personal favorite's Aquabead, just because it really makes it easy to not have to clean my car again. But I also enjoy Skeeter Deleter and Lemon Tech because I got a lot of brake dust from riding people's asses and having to slam on my brake. Don't worry about it, okay? That said, you want to use code Monoxide, save 15%. Give it a shot. I promise you won't be disappointed. That's lunatech.com, LOONATEK.com. Give it a rip.
Outback
I don't
Steakhouse
know.
gift card,
That's
like,
what I
suck it.
mean. Like,
Buy me
I get
dinner.
it. But, I mean, I get it, but yeah,
It's tough.
it is.
Yeah, it's tough. It's just part of the sport, too.
No,
right?
it
Yeah.
is.
Like, did you guys see that photo of the Huracan almost T-boning the Mustang at the Texas Motorplex? That was crazy. The Mustang spun out like twice, and then the Huracan got really close.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I saw
That's
that.
crazy.
Is that in roll racing, right?
I don't know if it was at Texas 2K or if it was a recent thing.
Okay.
I'm not sure because the photo didn't specify. It was a 1320 photo, but it's just like sometimes things happen. Or like, for
Yeah.
example, I know what you're thinking about, the roll racing, the black R8 that crashed.
Yes.
That was crazy because they both got squirrely, right?
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes things do happen. In that instance, you know, it's a wash. You know, most likely at least.
Yeah.
But it's never ending. But speaking of Texas 2K, so I think we covered everything on like the rec side of things.
Dang, yeah.
Yeah. Texas 2K was a doozy for you guys.
Holy shit, it was.
First event back after the wreck.
First event, I was nervous as hell because that was the first time I had gotten back in the car after the wreck. So I was already a little nervous about that. Hadn't driven it yet. And we added more horsepower. And you're going to Texas 2K with it. I mean, there's
the
thousands.
Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl of racing, like, or drag racing.
Or it's
whatever
one
you
of
wanna
them
call
at
it.
least.
Yeah. And then, yeah, you're racing in front of thousands of people, and you're like, just want to make it A to B.
Yeah.
And that's your second time at Texas 2K, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about that earlier, too. So we talked about it when we were at Texas 2K. It's a multi-day event, so you have to make it from the start to the end, usually, right? So that you talk about chasing those records, those guys they're not making as many passes as you are, for sure, and make it through a whole event like that.
When we were out there, my number one objective was to watch Nth Moto and you guys. I'd made it for the most part. I think I watched you guys like a handful of times. The Nth Moto one's like that. That's like their shop is 3 miles from my house, a mile from my house. Like I had to watch that. But yeah, it's just I wanted to see the home team. Like anything that had a Ratified sticker or Nth Moto. That's pretty much it for me. And then I wanted to see Billy's GTR, of course. But so that's your second event. Then a lot of prep. How much more horsepower were you running at that event then?
200 more?
Okay, so that's when you made the jump to. Okay.
Well,
It was turned down a little bit.
We did have it
Obviously,
turned down.
Yeah, we had it turned down because we didn't know, we
wanted to spend that Tuesday getting the car more dialed in and getting some good logs on it, maybe be able to turn it up. That did not happen, though.
When we left South Dakota for Texas, we didn't have time for a dyno, and there's snow on the ground. So, I can't just take it out and go tune it. So I did as much as I could. And we went there a day early knowing that we needed to get in and get some seat time for her to learn the new setup, make sure everything works, maybe, just get her feel back for the car after the wreck, so.
Was there any nerves? Like, obviously there was nerves, but was there any... Because sometimes when people get back into a car after a wreck, they just are paralyzed with fear. Were you at that level, or were you just kind of just antsy and nervous?
I was antsy and nervous. I also wanted to either go down next to somebody on my test pass or qualifying pass, whatever, with somebody that I knew. There's a couple girls that I know there, or just wait at the light for a while so I could go down like a solo pass.
Who was there was a girl that you were tagging all the time down there.
There's a Sana.
Maybe?
She's got a black GTR.
Yeah, I think it was that one. Yeah.
There's Sana that's down there. I mean, I know a lot of those girls down there.
Okay. Gotcha.
Her and I talk quite a bit, and I asked her, I'm like, can we go down together? Because, like, at Texas, last year, it was her first time at Texas 2K also, and that's where we first met, and we were both, like, super nervous to race in front of all the people, and we did our first qualifying pass together then, too, which helped ease both of our nerves. We're both like, we're just girls, like, we got this, like, there's no pressure. So I had reached out to her, too. I'm like, we should do another qualifying pass together for our first time, and I think
make it a yearly tradition at this point.
Every
It
year.
is,
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
But there was quite a few nerves. Yeah.
So then the week kind of goes on. So this was Tuesday, right?
We had just gotten there on Tuesday.
Okay.
Made one pass.
We made one pass.
And that's when we had issues.
We had issues. The first pass, we had issues. And I don't know how deep I want to speak on this.
What? Oh, we can speak. I mean,
Okay.
It's all facts. We never really talked publicly
we've never
about
really
any
talked
of this.
publicly about
Nobody really
this.
knows.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
if there's
okay.
anything you change your mind on,
No,
just let me know.
it's good. I mean, like, okay, I'll go into it a little bit. So we get there
He's gonna take
Tuesday.
He's like, fuck it, I'll say it.
I mean, this is the stuff people want to hear, so whatever.
Sure.
But so yeah, Tuesday we get there, we make one pass. Clutches are slipping. They're brand new clutches, and we're having issues with them, and didn't know what the heck the issue was. So we did some trial and error stuff and reached out to the company that supplied the clutches. Wanted to just get a clutch coming so that way we could,
if we needed to swap
yeah,
it.
if we needed to swap it, like like
could.
somehow, like just get a clutch in hand. So if I need to swap a clutch, I can get it in there and we can get on with it. We're at one of the biggest events of the year, and it took the company like a day to get back to us or two. So it's like,
well, and then Wednesday we went in and we made another pass.
Yeah,
After we did some.
we changed fluid. We did some stuff to try to like hopefully like figure out why this clutch was slipping.
I mean,
So
it was bad.
It was really bad.
audible down the track.
Really?
Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't just like, oh, I'm feeling it in the car. Nobody else is noticing. I even posted a video, like, to keep, social media updated. And even there's people on social media that were like, just by watching the video, they're like, something's not right.
Yeah. So yeah, we made two passes Tuesday, one on Wednesday. And that's when we decided that we shouldn't make any more passes until we get the clutch out.
We had to figure something out.
So reached out to the company. They finally got back to us. So Tuesday we reached out. Wednesday they didn't get back to us.
To like what, Wednesday night?
Till Wednesday night. And then they wanted us to try some stuff. So we tried some stuff. Still didn't fix it. So like we paid to overnight a clutch from him to us. And then
It got delayed
it
in
got
weather.
delayed in weather on Thursday. So the clutch.
Friday.
So yeah, Thursday is when the clutch went out. Got delayed Thursday night. Coming, supposed to be delivered Friday. We selected next day, but we didn't select weekend. So it when it got delayed, it wasn't going to be there Saturday.
Till
it said
Monday.
So
like, the
and it was
event's
still
over.
in Memphis. It was 6 hours. Like so, we're like,
We debated.
do
going
we
to
drive
to go
6
get it.
hours and then go drive 6 hours back and bring the clutch back? Like, what do we do? And then so we just started looking for other options and couldn't find any other clutches. And we reached out to Hank Iros and he's like, I was like, do you have a clutch we could borrow, or do you know anyone
you have
around this
anything on the
area?
shelf?
Like, what's the options here? Because my hands are tied. This clutch is in transit and it's delayed. I'm not going to probably get it in time. So
And we also had the transmission out
yeah,
of the car.
No,
Everything-
we didn't have it
oh,
out yet.
Oh, we didn't.
So
Okay. Sorry.
yeah, we did.
I'm saying we had everything dropped out of the car.
Yeah, so that we took the trans out.
Which, hold up, we got to back up. We found a shop, too, while we were at Texas. I reached out to Kate, who works with Lacey Blair, and her family had a shop, 20 minutes?
20 minutes
from the track that we could bring my car to, and they let us use their shop. So we didn't have to do anything in the pits.
Full repair shop.
Like a full mechanic shop. It was a dream.
So yeah, Friday we went to the shop to take the trans out. Was it Friday? No, it was Thursday night.
Thursday night, yeah.
Thursday night. We didn't make it past it all on Thursday. We took the car to the shop on Thursday night because the clutch was supposed to arrive Friday morning. Took the trans out of the car. Ratified was there. They helped us pull it, everything, and wake up the next morning to updated tracking.
Oh my gosh, I don't think I even slept.
Monday. It said Monday. It said delayed Monday, and then we're like, what do we do now? Like, the car's all tore apart. So that's when we started figuring out what to do. And then Datsun was at the event, so they approached us because they overheard that we were having issues with clutch, and they offered to get us a clutch. You know, they had one in the States that they could get us. Mm-hmm. And so they reached out to Hank at Iros, and basically Hank got us a clutch. So Hank overnighted us a clutch on Friday night. Was it Friday? Yeah, Friday night. Yeah, Friday evening, and it was delivered Saturday morning.
He selected weekend shipping. Got it.
He got it. So
we followed the UPS truck.
I got a funny story about that too. So we went to Texas and planned to meet up with some friends that I've never met before, but they're Instagram friends. He's got a TTRS. He was planning to race. He did race it. Miguel, and he's got the white one that has like graffiti. It's a wrap. It's wrap. Yeah. Anyways, so me and him play Xbox together, and he's a very he fucks around and plays around with me a lot, and so he thought it'd be funny. He got me a label. He helped me get a label, and he thought it'd be funny to put the 2 as my gamer tag, my Xbox gamer tag.
Ship it to
So he shipped it to my Xbox gamer tag. I'm like,
this was the delayed clutch.
I'm like, oh my god, dude! Hold up.
This was the clutch that was delayed now. That was supposed to be there Monday, and we're going to be out of Texas on Monday.
Yeah, we weren't.
And this is coming to his gamer tag. There's what do we do?
So my gamer tag's Jackie Burns. Long story, not going to get into it. Either way, it sounds like a legit name, so it's not like I can just go there and be like, hey, yeah, my name's Jackie Burns, or this is my Xbox gamer tag. Anyways, so we didn't know what we were going to do, but he fucked that all up. So, anyways,
shout out Miguel.
Back to Hank.
Thanks, Miguel.
Well, were you able to receive the package at least?
We'll touch on that. So.
Yeah, you can't just leave us half.
We will.
No,
I'll touch on it.
No, touch on it now.
I will, but
okay, we'll get
into it. Okay. So,
Hank sent us out a clutch, overnighted it to us, showed up Saturday morning, the Datsun clutch. We're like, yes, got a clutch. Followed the UPS guy right to the Airbnb that morning. And literally, she got out, and we were standing there waiting for it.
I'm like, yes.
So we get to the shop. We meet all the Ratified guys at the shop. We're hoping to get the clutch in the car and go make another pass to hopefully get one more
pass on Saturday.
One more pass. At this point, Becca's #1 qualifier in her class, in the slower class. We didn't want to be in the faster classes because they were running sevens, and we knew we couldn't compete.
Yeah.
So
especially
we were
not having any
we were okay
time
where we were sitting because we were #1 qualifier, and we knew the car had more in it if we needed it. So Hank gets us a clutch. We go to the shop that morning, unbox everything. We're like looking at everything. Ratified has never put a Datsun clutch in a car before. It's kind of new to them too. We're looking over everything. We're like trying to see how everything goes, and we're like, "This is weird. Something's not right here." And we ended up coming to the conclusion that we were missing a fucking part.
We're missing a part in this clutch, and this is like Saturday. What, midday?
Saturday before lunch.
Yeah, midday.
Yeah, Saturday before lunch.
I love this. By the way,
that's midday.
Yeah. So we're missing a part, and we reach out to Hank again. We're like,
man, what do we do?
What's going on here? And he calls his guy, his mechanic or whatever, and then Jeff, he calls us, and he's like, "What's the deal?" And I'm like, "Dude, I think we're missing the inner basket." And he's like, "Hold on, I'll call you back." Goes to the shop.
Goes
to Iros, and it's sitting on the table where they packaged it. Forgot to put it in the box.
Oh my God. We're just thinking, I was thinking,
I'm like,
if this week could get any worse, it's getting, like,
Okay.
we didn't think it could.
So now back to the original clutch.
The one that was
So,
overnighted that was delayed
but-
on weather.
So Datsun approached us, right? We struck a deal with Datsun because that's our only choice. I mean, we weren't going to have a clutch till Monday. We wanted to compete. She's number one qualifier. So, like, we struck a deal with Datsun. Hank was supposed to deliver. Hank didn't end up delivering.
Well,
now,
he did, but
now the tracking updates on the original clutch. The original clutch
it's in
says
Texas.
it's in Texas. It's in the same town as our Airbnb.
To Jackie Burns, remember?
Still,
yeah.
still will not deliver till Monday because we didn't select Monday Saturday shipping. So like, all right, fuck. I call Hank. I'm like, dude, we're missing the basket. I'm like, we already made a deal with Datsun. Like, what do we do here?
Oh, now we can have potentially.
I could
can have
potentially go get the Deca clutch and put the Deca clutch in there, but like, how do I explain to Datsun? Like, I'm sorry, dude. Like,
this sponsorships off.
I mean, like, I can't, like, you know. So it's like, it was a shitty situation for us to be in. So Hank's like, I understand. I'll fix this. We'll get it figured out.
We'll fix it. Yeah.
In the meantime, go see if you can get the other clutch just
in case.
So I went to was it FedEx?
FedEx.
Went to FedEx, and I walk in there, and the lady was super cool about it. I'm like, so this is the situation. Here's the address that it's going to. This is our Airbnb reservation. Here's my Xbox gamer tag on my phone.
And he's like, and this is the clutch. Like, this is the logo
this is the
for
the
it.
logo for the clutches on our shirts. Like this, it all makes sense. And she's like, all right, like she's like, all right, we're good. Like, gave us the clutch.
Yeah.
But at
Thank
this
God.
point, Hank's already trying to figure out a way to make Datsun work because we already kind of committed to that. So, needless to say, he paid for a guy to get on an airplane with the missing part.
Wow.
And he showed up that night
We picked him up that night at
at
what,
the
like,
airport at 9 o'clock. The car's still in pieces.
But here's the deal: his flight also, like, it was supposed to be in by like 7:45, and
Yeah,
it kept
got
getting
delayed.
delayed because of weather because it had been raining all day Saturday.
Yeah, that weather was bad.
So I'm like, oh my God, we had a delayed clutch because of weather. Now we have delayed flights because of weather. Like, are we gonna get this clutch in the car? Do we have to run on a slipping clutch? Like, are we gonna like have to baby this thing? Like, we're not quitting. Like,
Yeah.
we're not giving
we
up. We
didn't-
did not
we-
drive all this way to just give up at Texas 2K. Absolutely not.
So we finally got all the parts from Datsun, and like we're good to put the Datsun clutch in. We knew we were going to go into Sunday eliminations with no test pass at all on this thing. We don't even know if
We're
it's going to
going
work.
blind. We don't even know if it's gonna go.
We never, to this day, we never figured out why the clutch was slipping.
No.
I took that clutch out and I sent it back to the manufacturer, and he said he never found an issue with it. We don't know why. I think it was just too much power. I don't know. He says it wasn't. I don't know. I have nothing against the company that we were originally working with. It just came down to my only option, which was
And when we needed the
when
support,
we needed it. Like, I needed it that day, and it wasn't there. Like, and then it got delayed. It was a shitty situation.
And again, it wasn't like we were at just a weekend event. This
Yeah,
is Texas
I mean, this is the
2K.
biggest
It's
event of the
it's
year.
a week-long
Yeah.
event type of
Yeah.
deal. Like,
So Datsun came in clutch.
he came in clutch.
Like a shit there. Yeah.
Hank,
You know what?
Hank,
This podcast is over after that joke.
No pun intended. Dad,
So-
dad
No
jokes
pun- no
for
dad
days.
jokes. Yeah.
Dad jokes for days.
So yeah, I mean,
That's awesome.
I just want to make sure, like, because I mean, I'm sure he'll see this, you know. So like, I have nothing against him. Like, I still
We
gonna
still
run.
run his
I still
clutches.
run that clutch in my car.
Which clutch is that again?
Deca.
Deca,
Deca,
DCT,
okay.
DCT,
clutch.
Deca
Yep.
clutches.
So he makes great clutches. I'm not sure what happened with her clutch, whatever. But I mean, no hate. I mean, me and him talk, and we're good now. So at least I hope so. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's
At the
kind
end of the day, it's a good product and all that stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good product, and you know, Datsun's
It just
been
didn't
good
work
for
out
us.
that
It
one
just
time.
didn't work out for us. It was just
Yeah.
a shitty
Yeah.
situation.
And Datsun they were great too. I mean,
been
they
great, yeah.
approached us, so they supported us, and they stayed until the very end.
Yeah.
And they were up at that start line with us every single pass that
Yeah.
Sunday to make sure, like, and just they were great, hands on.
Yeah, so we got the car running, and also, like, keep in mind, I left my trailer at the track all week. We were driving her car back and forth to the Airbnb every single day.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, and she actually got pulled over.
Oh my God, for my parachute.
Yeah.
Got a freaking ticket on top of that. Oh,
Yeah.
let's not negate the fact that also on the way down to Texas, we blew the trailer tire not once but freaking twice within a 2-mile radius. So like we're already on a bad foot. getting into Texas.
Yeah, we went through hell. We went through hell to make this event work, and to see it pay off in the end was great.
Which we'll get into paying it off.
Yes.
But so you said it was, so Hank sent the guy on the plane?
Yeah.
Yep. You know that those are the best stories. Like I've heard of so many parts get shipped on planes, whether it was intercoolers or whatever. Like we were talking to one of the 720 guys back in Minnesota. He said like one time he just went there and he had this big old intercooler put in the overhead. It was just the funniest thing. I've seen people send coilovers. Just it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Same day shipping.
we were
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the only way to do it. I mean, and at that point, like
I think he looked at options too of even just like dropping the package off,
at the airplane,
and
and we just pick it up in like the baggage claim area.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know what happened with that. I think he just ended up was like
either way. Jeff came with it in his lap, and
He's
he
like,
stayed
"Here
for
you go."
Sunday for a
Picked
little
him
bit.
up at the airport 9:00 at night.
Yeah, shout out for them making it work.
First-hand
Yeah.
service.
Went to the shop. So we were an hour away from the shop where the car was at. So we didn't get to the shop till 10:00. Ratified's already there waiting for us.
us.
The trans is on the floor. And it was like 10:15. 11:30, the car was running.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow, that's
There's
quick.
like-
Is that a picture I saw with
Yes.
Rat? Like, you guys standing around
We're all
watching
like-
put clutches in the
Yeah, we're all like in a circle around the transmission and the clutches.
That's when
and,
we
like,
realized we were missing
like,
we
that's
were
when-
missing a piece. We're all
Oh,
like
yeah.
trying to
and we're
figure
like,
out the
shit.
pieces was missing.
We got like instructions up on the laptop, and we've got
We got Australian. Is it Australian?
New Zealand.
New Zealand. We have guys from New
I got
Zealand
them
from
on my
Datsun on the
calling
phone.
me.
It's
like,
like,
we're trying to figure this out. And
I don't know what's going on with this thing, but yeah, we were just missing a part. So
Is that
but
where
yeah,
they're based out of?
Yeah, New Zealand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's why. Okay.
Is that where the guy flew from?
No.
no,
no,
that was Hank.
Hank.
What a Hank's
Hank
company.
Iros.
they had
Vegas.
one.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
they had one on their shelf
They had one on their shelf
because they supply them too.
It was one of Hank's clutches that he was going to use in one of his cars. And then-
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, that was the only one though available from Datsun that Datsun could get us. So Datsun reached out to Hank and was like, "Hey, you got a clutch? You can get these guys." And that's when Hank came into
That's
play.
the amazing
Okay.
thing about this sport, or just motorsports in general, is people help each other out, even if it's
Oh
a
my
competitor,
God.
man. Like, because like people want to compete. Like, I don't want to go against you when you're hurt. I want you
Yeah.
on the top of your game, and
Yeah.
that's
we
the
want to
awesome
see.
thing.
We all want to see each other running and going and
Yeah,
performing.
No, we've gotten a lot of love, a lot of respect. There's a lot of good people on this platform,
Yeah.
So it's been great. So, but yeah,
you gotta love them for pushing it forward too. Like I know, like I see Rat and Hank, like in these forums sometimes joking about getting a job or whatever. Like for example, that
Yeah.
T1 position recently came up.
Yes, I saw that.
You saw that, right?
Yeah,
Both Rat
yeah.
and Hank
Big.
commented like, "Oh, the salary sounds nice."
Yeah.
You know, like,
I think anybody that's self-employed.
yeah.
you think about it.
Yeah.
It-
Like,
you're always
things
looking at LinkedIn or something.
Yeah.
But it's like you got to give them credit, man, for pushing the platform forward. It's just
Being dedicated to it.
yeah. And I know you guys said that, there isn't a ton of TTRSs and there's a sizable amount of RS3s out there, but I still think there's enough to have that cult following to want to keep pushing it
Yeah.
forward. You're seeing somebody that has a really blank check, but because then that's that next level. But
Yeah.
But so, anyways, talk about the success of the event, because obviously you just finished up the car.
Yep.
11:30 at night. What's next?
So
Just make it
we had
to
to-
elimination.
we had to break it. We had to break the clutch in, so that took another like half hour
That was
to
like
an hour.
45-minute process.
It just sitting there with it running, doing gear shifts in and out, trying to bed the clutch in, heating the trans up to we had to have fans on the trans and everything. So it was like a big process. Got that done, and it's raining. And I have to drive this car back to the Airbnb because
On the frickin'
she was
Hoosier
not comfortable.
DR2s.
If it rains, we're on slicks. So if it rains, it's no bueno.
Somebody's
she
under
won't
a
do
bridge.
It. She won't do it. So that
I
leaves
won't do it,
That
yeah.
leaves me. So and I have to put some miles on this thing because I need to know exactly what's going
like,
on.
is this new clutch that we just put in? Is it working? Is it functioning?
I need to get
like-
I need to get some logs for my tuner so he can make sure everything is working correctly.
And who's your tuner?
Darren, I can never.
He's
say
gonna
his
butcher his
last
last double D tuning.
Double
Darren.
D tuning, Darren. He's from Florida. He used to tune old school Supras back in the day. So he's pretty well known in that platform. He's kind of the go-to for our stock ECU guys on our platform. He tunes a lot of them.
Are you guys on? Or no? What?
Stock ECU.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Stock ECU.
Okay. So you're tuning.
So yeah,
Or
So I drove
breaking
it back to the Airbnb, and our
the
Airbnb was
rain.
30 minutes, 45 minutes
45
away.
minutes away.
Yeah, drove it in the rain. I'm going over these freaking high interchanges, and I'm like thinking, oh my god, like I'm
Just
going, I gotta turn because I'm going up and around, and I'm like, at any point this car's just gonna go straight into the wall. It's not even gonna turn anymore because it's pouring.
Yeah.
You know?
I was like,
Yeah, it wasn't like sprinkling out.
no, I
No,
was like
it
nose in the
wasn't.
windshield of the truck, like watching him drive. Like it was the most.
So I'm like
nerve-wracking
thinking
I've
like all right, well let's just get to the Airbnb, call it a night. Hopefully tomorrow morning it's dry enough so we can make some passes.
Oh,
Nope.
you guys stress me out. It doesn't take a lot to stress me out, but you're stressing me out.
Okay, but then
Oh my
the journey.
God.
Okay, yeah. Now we're getting into Sunday just to make it
Yeah.
back. So Stephan's driving it. Okay, Stephan's driving my car. I'm in the truck, and we knew that the line was going to be so long to get into the tracks. We're like, we're going to take a back way. We're going to take a fucking back road with my car. We like are taking these. Was it gravel roads?
We took
like,
a back
on-
road that we thought was paved, and it had a bridge that was out. So we drove on this back road that was really
He's
crappy.
on E.
And I was on empty, driving her car because it was still raining. I tried getting a log on the interstate on the way to
Still
Texas.
raining.
And I shit you not, in second gear trying to get a log at like 80 miles an hour, it's breaking loose. I'm like, all right, I can't do this. But I did get a log enough to like for my tuner to see anything like out of shape that he corrected. So I did. So we get closer to the event. We decided to take a back road that we thought was paved. It was really shitty, really bumpy. Her car's really low. And we we go like 2-3 miles down the road at like 25 miles an hour the whole time. Get to the end, and the bridge is out. We have to turn around and go back. And I'm on empty. I'm
He's literally
literally 0 miles till empty.
It's like
And I
flashing.
can see the track, but it's like a couple fields away. And I have to go back the other way and go all the way back around. We finally get there. Car's freaking dirty as shit.
He's like he gets so out of sorts when my car is dirty.
Yeah,
like he
I
has to
can't.
have
I'm
it washed.
anal as fuck. That car
But
has
did you end
to
up
be
having to
clean.
wait in line then too?
No, luckily enough we didn't because
No. We
yeah.
probably didn't even need to go
Probably
to that
didn't
back
even
road.
need to go the back way. It was
Don't
ridiculous.
even get me started. I was so pissed.
It was a bad day.
But whatever. We made it to the track, and then
Yes.
we paid a detailing company to
Detail.
clean the car up before we went. And
I don't think they would have let you go down if you're all that muddy anyway.
I mean, it wasn't like
It wasn't terrible, but I mean, it needed to be cleaned.
He
and
was stressed about how dirty it was.
Yeah, like I mean,
Okay, make sure you don't see my GTI. Okay, noted.
Yeah.
Noted.
Noted. No, it's just he's got a weird thing about my car being clean. I'm just
mine
like
too.
putting the frickin' trailer dirty. Like at this point, let's just drive it. Anyways, sorry, I'm off track.
So yeah, we get to the event, and yeah, you.
Found out that I was still number one qualifier.
Yep.
I was
Okay.
a little worried that I was maybe going to be bumped down or whatever. Since other people had gotten passes on Saturday. I think they got one more round in on Saturday, and I didn't, obviously. So I was still number one qualifier, and
So yeah, number one qualifier. She qualified on Wednesday. We turned it up
with a slipping clutch.
We turned it up with a slipping clutch because we needed to try to get a faster time to qualify, and we didn't know where we were going to fall. So we turned it up anyways, and she went an 8.77 at like 150 or something like that, and that was her PB. That was her PB last year.
Yeah.
So she matched her PB with a slipping
With
clutch.
a slipping clutch.
And just a little bit more power.
And like coasting into it, like
And-
coasting to
yeah.
the finish.
And so that was her qualifying time. Well, and how the classes break down for the DCT classes is the fastest, the number one qualifier, you can't run faster than 0.2.
So I couldn't run faster than an 8.57.
8.57.
Otherwise, I would break out and lose.
And we knew the car could go faster. So we basically had to like turn it down for the rest of the event.
Which was okay, but at the same time, we wanted to go there and
We wanted to go fast.
We wanted to go
Right.
faster than what
At
we
least
did
get a
because
PB, but we won. So
that's I feel like for us, it was a struggle, like an internal struggle of we like to compete against ourselves.
yeah.
And we wanted the car to go faster for ourselves, but also it's like we want to win the event at this point.
Well, it's choosing again, like we talked about earlier. It's like choosing to go for the record, you know, the glory runs,
Yeah.
or do you compete? Because that's two very different things
Yeah.
too. Some people can qualify all day long, but then when it comes to the actual race, they can't. They're a potato.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, what does the actual competition look like? How many rounds was it again?
Well, 16 cars.
16 cars.
Right.
So
4 rounds.
she had 4 races.
So the fastest had to run the slowest.
Yep. Correct.
I
So
feel like
we
You
so
go ahead.
yeah, she had to race the slowest guy. The guy didn't show up.
he didn't show up.
So she got. I'm like, yes.
I was like,
I'm like,
yes,
test pass,
I can
perfect.
yes, we can get a
and
test pass.
luckily, we got a test pass because like the car acts a little bit different on this clutch, and it doesn't like roll as easily. So when she single bulbs,
When I was trying to like roll
it
into the
wouldn't
lights,
roll
it was
into the
different.
light like it normally did,
The
and
clutch
she
is just so
almost
tight.
red lit. She almost red lit, and like it like stuttered, and so like I'm glad we got that. So went into the next round, and the guy was a McLaren 720, and
Is
the
that
guy
a CCO car?
it was, yes, but it wasn't. So there's two of them. It was a father and son. The father broke, so she got another bypass.
Yeah, so he broke.
We're
so
like,
he
all
didn't show
right,
up.
like, thank you, like all this
Yeah.
freaking work, and we getting a break here. Like, let's take advantage of it. So the car was working, the clutch was working, but we were struggling to get the car to go up on boost on the launch. So we're terrible 60s, and we're basically just running it out the back door to try to get as close to what we could. So that next pass, you ran like a 9.0, and the car was working.
170 though.
Yeah, 170, shitty 60 foot, fastest mile per hour she's ever gone.
Yeah.
And then,
The next round was a
Next
GTR.
round was semifinals, and it was a GTR,
He red lit.
and he red lit.
I'm like, there ain't no fucking way.
We're like, oh my god,
Like,
all right.
I feel like
sweet.
this win wasn't even like.
Yeah,
it-
but it wasn't. It wasn't the. It's the win isn't technically who you race. It's all the shit we went through to get there.
For us, that
Oh,
was.
yeah.
So it's like that's what we cared about. It's like we went through all this crap. I don't care if you get a free pass all the way to the finals. I don't care.
Some
The
people might
finals
see
was
it that
actually
way.
a good race.
Well, part of the race is finishing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's that too.
Yeah,
So it's like, and then finals was another McLaren 720,
that was the Sissio one. Yeah.
Sissio one, and it was running like 9.2s all day, and
I'll be honest, I knew I had it in the bag as long as my car
did what it needed to.
did what it needed to do, and I coasted into that 8-9 at like 135 because I saw that he was
Way
far
back
enough
there.
behind me.
She treated
But
him.
I feel like if I would have stayed in it, I potentially would have broken out.
Yeah, got a PB and broke out because
And
it
then
actually
I
it
would've
actually
lost,
worked
though.
on the line
Oh,
this
yeah.
time.
Yeah,
So
it worked on the light and it went.
It went.
And it
that
felt like
time.
such a good pass. I was like, damn it, I have to let out. I had to.
It's midnight. It's midnight on Sunday, and like every night at Texas, we got like 5 hours, 6
Not
hours of
even.
sleep.
Oh yeah, all the delays from rain too.
Yes,
And then we're
Yeah.
working late at the shop.
I mean, like it was super stressful. So like,
Yeah, I just took a few years off my life listening to this story.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I know. I'm like getting stressed again, just like reliving this.
so yeah, it was very stressful, but the win, it all paid off in the end.
It did.
Yeah.
So
And again, you know, all the extra seat time and everything. Like the next, I mean, FL2K is that the next big event for you guys then, or do you have more events throughout the season?
Well, we canceled June. We canceled all of our June events. So the next biggest one probably will be FL2K.
Okay, and then you have events through July and August as well, or okay.
Yeah.
yeah, we
I feel like also Texas 2K gave me a little bit of PTSD because every time I get back in my car now, I'm like,
Is it gonna
fuck,
break?
is it going to break again? What's going to break? Like, is this going to be a good run? Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? Like, am I prepared for it to not work?
well, let's just say it's broke every single time we've brought it out since Texas 2K now. So
Yep.
But again, that's also part of being at that power level. You're trying to figure out
it's
what
new, yeah,
And some of the parts that are still in my car are original.
with
40,000 miles on it, with how many hard launches on it, with how many hard miles on it.
Yeah, an
That-
alternator isn't like performance. Like you're not breaking it because of your horsepower level. That just went out probably because it. I mean, unless you're running an overdriven pulley
Well,
on the crank.
no.
That's not where your turbos. My God.
Yeah, turbo.
Sorry, I'm
That's
super
okay.
sorry, guys.
You're good. Yeah, yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Back
he
it
fell
up.
asleep at the wheel
So-
for a second.
So yeah, a
I
lot
gotta get out of Mustang mode here for a minute.
there's a lot of stock parts on these cars. Transmission is stock. It's got clutches and a flywheel. That's it. So the gears stock. I mean, so yeah, we put it on the dyno after Texas because we wanted to finish tuning it and see what it made. And the stock ECU went into like a diagnostic mode, and we did a 1125 wheel horsepower with the cams locked out, and basically
Bent valves.
the valves were just floating, and we bent valves. So what do
That
I
was
do?
that was after the clutch. Now it's valves.
Now it's valves. So I take it to Ratified. They rip the
Fix
head
it.
off. They fix it. We missed one event because of it, and then we got it back. I went to Ratified to pick it up, put it on the dyno, and made 1200 wheel. We had to take it apart on the dyno because the wastegate springs weren't enough, so we had to add another spring in there to make the power we needed to. So made 1200, pulled it off the dyno, put it in the trailer, took it home. We're like, all right, cool. Like, we're good to go.
I was so happy.
We're going to Kansas next weekend. I get it home. I freaking put it in the garage. The next day, I take it out to go change the oil.
And the seat.
And the seat, because I put her stock seat back in just so we could dyno it. Anyways, I make it two houses away from my house. Trans exploded.
Holy shit.
The gears just said,
Bye.
I'm done. And the car, like, I was in first gear. All of a sudden, just everything locked up, and, like, the whole car shook.
It made
and, like,
such a horrific
it was
noise.
a terrible. She was in the front yard when it happened.
I was like,
watching it leave.
Like, yeah, it's going. Like, I was just so excited to watch
In the
it.
trans.
And I'm like, oh my fucking God.
It's never ending.
I know. I was like, you want any help pushing that in? Thankfully, the trailer was at home.
So yeah, I had to like winch it into the trailer, but I got it back to the shop, and we were supposed to leave that next morning, like less than 20.
10. Yeah.
What was it that night? We were supposed to leave that night for Kansas.
Yeah, less than 10 hours.
And
We were
to
supposed
go
to.
race in Kansas, we had tickets and everything. And
Which event was that again, by the way?
Streetcar
Streetcar
Takeover.
Takeover.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
in Kansas.
Didn't
Yeah,
it get delayed or no?
yeah. So
This was
the
the rescheduled one.
this was
Okay.
the rescheduled
Gotcha.
one we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yep.
So get it back to the shop. I thought it was like transfer case and something else. I did not think it was gears, and ended up being the trans. Luckily, I had my old trans still there from my RS3. So me and a buddy started working on it at like 4 o'clock, and by 11 o'clock, I had her trans out and my trans in.
Swapped
and
everything
swapped
over.
everything
So you
over.
swapped clutches and stuff, too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Went racing the next morning to Kansas.
Wow.
Went down there.
And then I broke a fucking axle.
Yeah, she did roll racing. That went well. She made it to semifinals, and then lost. And then did drag racing, and we're still having the issue with the boost on launch. Like we just can't get it to hold. It's such a big turbo. We think we had a boost leak, and I think that was the issue. I think we got it fixed now. We don't know yet. But we decided to go back out for one last pass because
At the end of the night.
again, she was in a class where she had to sandbag kind of because she would have a breakout time.
It's a breakout of 9-0.
So when she broke
really?
out and lost first
Yeah.
round of drag racing, if she would have stayed in it, she would have blown her PB away. But she let out, and we're like, all right, we're going to wait around, see if we can get another pass. Shouldn't have done that.
No. We waited how many hours, too?
Like 3 or 4 hours.
And it was like, I don't know, 10:30 at night. Something like that. And we're like, we're going to go. We're giving it its all.
She snaps an axle halfway down
We gave it too much.
and took the wheel bearing out at the same time.
And were those stock axles?
Yeah,
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are. I ordered upgraded finally, but it needs it.
Yeah.
Where'd you order the upgraded ones? from?
Drive shaft shop.
Okay. Gotcha. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it broke again. So,
Well, somebody's got to find out where these stock parts break, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine
You've
there's
been
a
working
ton.
your way down the drive line, clutches, then the trans, and then onto the axles.
I mean, I'm just, at this point, I'm going to have a spare part of everything ready because yeah, it's been terrible. So
But that's part of also, like, you guys go out a lot.
Yeah,
you
we
guys
do.
are
Every
making
weekend.
so many events. Like, some people, listen, the people that make 1 or 2 events a year, they'll be like, oh, yeah, this part will hold. Well, yeah, because you only beat on it once or twice. You can get lucky 5-10 times. But if you guys are going this many times, you're going to find the real limits, that repetition limit, too.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
It's
So I
always
fixed
kind of
it,
yeah.
and now we're here.
And now we're here.
And then the alternator
Alternator took a shit on
decided to
us
take
today.
a shit.
Yeah. You know, the supercharger, that's what did it.
Yeah.
Fell asleep
I
at the
was
wheel.
thinking 10% overdriven pulley, running the alternator longer, harder, faster. Yeah. Doesn't happen with a turbo.
We've been hanging a lot with the supercharged guys this weekend.
Yeah.
It's been a lot. It's okay. I usually hang around the turbo gang. He's the supercharged gang.
You might be covering that camera now that you moved a little.
Oh, I might be.
That's okay. That's
He was
fine.
tired of his feet dangling.
I just wanted to let you know.
I was going back with
They don't need
your
to.
camera.
They don't need to see me. It's all right.
It's only that half hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, this one should be good. Yeah, it's okay. That's all good. Just trying to digest all
No,
that.
yeah, you're good.
That's
Take
a lot.
take
Now that
a
I
minute.
just basically threw this whole podcast away.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing Sean's coming back to stay with us tonight
Yeah, there you
because
go.
you're fired.
Oh,
We're
damn.
gonna get Sean back.
That's
No,
all right.
okay,
Guess
okay.
what? He's now homeless for the rest of the weekend.
You can walk home.
Sorry, you guys had to see our little tiff there. It's all right.
No, we do this all the time. Almost like it's just it's an inside joke. It's okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's okay. We have a lot of plans. We may be doing a Chicago tour next month, so that'll be fun. We just love traveling. It's just we enjoy this, man. It's just it's fun talking to so many types of car enthusiasts. Sometimes you mess up the superchargers and the turbos, but it's like we're learning from like RB guys, and we've had such a wide range. Especially like age-wise as well. It's like, we have a 23-year-old guy coming on here in a few months that does, rally racing and nitro with like Travis Pastrana and stuff. It's like, it's just crazy. And then we had a 75-year-old guy come on. It's okay. We don't talk about that one. But we talk about Tim DeSestro. He's in his 70s. It's just such a wide range of car enthusiasts, man. And it's awesome to have you guys on to kind of talk more about the successes of this platform, because we had Rat very early on, like episode 34, right? That episode did well.
Yeah.
But I need to get the Ratified people back on in general. But it's like, it's awesome to talk about the successes of this platform and how you guys are pushing it. So, that's awesome.
Hold on. After you went on a tangent of making fun of me, we were talking about your alternator. You've been out now? You've been making some runs, some hits out there? How's it going?
We turned the car down a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, we put an alternator in.
Yeah.
You guys didn't do any more runs
and
today,
as everyone,
right? Oh, you did?
And as everyone that's rode in it says, she fucks. That's literally
we've been giving
everyone. I've been giving rides to Rat's never rode in my car, so I had to give him a ride and just
a lot of the Ratified guys.
A lot of the Ratified guys, and I get off. I'm like, I hope that was okay, and they're like, she fucks. Hopefully that's good. Sorry if I didn't say that.
Once again, Ratified jumped in and helped us fix it.
Yes, they did.
Dude, those guys were helping. They
fixed the Mustang today.
Yeah. The orange one?
Yeah.
Becca got him today.
What, the orange one?
Yeah, two car head start. Yeah,
give him a 2-car head start, and I'm just like, meow.
Wow, that's crazy.
It takes a lot to do that to Mike.
Yeah,
I know.
I don't know if he's still having issues or not. I don't know. Did you guys talk?
I haven't talked to him since then.
But last year, Power Cruise, I beat him.
Yeah.
So I knew,
well, he came with more power this year too.
Yes, he did. Yeah, more
so
fueling
if I
and stuff.
Beat him on less power.
Well, we could call him. He's been having a lot of issues on the fueling front. He's made it very well known on social media.
Yes.
But so we're coming up. We just crossed an hour 30, which when you get talking, it gets.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
No, that's great.
I mean, we don't care. We got nothing to do.
It's like the Midwest yappers.
I mean,
well, when it's over, we'll have a 3-hour goodbye too. So that's
every single time. Like we have the tours of the Ratified shop after every episode too. Like we show people around the shop, and it's always a forever thing. Do you want to pop the usual 3 though?
Yeah, I think so. I'm curious to see if these will be all Audis or what's gonna happen.
I want to be really curious on this one. Yeah, it's gonna be a nightmare.
All right. So at the end of every episode, we like to ask our guest or guests to pick 3 cars: a show car, a daily driver, and a track car. You have an unlimited budget. You can build whatever you want. What are you going to pick?
I've been training for this.
All right, we'll start with you then.
Well, I only know 1 car. 2. I don't have a show car.
Okay. It can double as like a track.
I mean,
we'll figure it out. Don't give her an out.
Yeah.
My daily, an RSQ8.
That's very common.
Yeah.
We hear that a lot. It's the GOAT.
Yeah, well, and I'm a mom, so I need that
Yep.
space, but I think it'd be fun. This one might surprise him. Maybe not, though. My track car, a Dodge Viper.
Oh, okay. Nth Moto, of course. Hopefully.
Yeah, I was
You
drooling
do like
over.
to go fast, don't you?
I was drooling over his.
Yeah, we hung out with him last
Kansas
weekend.
City. Yeah, we hung out.
Which
with him.
one?
I was
The owner?
I don't know
owner
which
was
car
there
it
with
was,
with a white one with black stripes.
Blue Stripes, probably.
Blue stripes, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
that's a
remember.
beautiful car.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh!
he
I
pitted
went
right
up to him
next
and I didn't know that he knew us, and I didn't know had never met him, and I'm like checking it out. And
Are you talking
Stephan,
about Aaron?
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
and Stephan, he's yelling at me over from our trailer to me at his trailer. He's like, "Don't get any ideas back," and I'm like, a red Dodge Viper has always been like one of my.
Red's on my to-do list.
That's on my That's always been on my bucket list of cars. I think that'd be. That's not in our budget though.
I hope you get a ride along in one of those one day. It's a
Yeah.
magical experience.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah. And okay, so that's what was that, track car?
Track car.
All right, you gotta figure something out for show car.
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
Because you already kind of got a little bit of a show car in a TTRS. Like people love that color. It looks menacing. So it could be because every race car is a show car.
You started with show car.
I started with show car.
When you were.
I
with
love
your
showing.
S4, what
I
did you
love
have?
showing that.
Yeah.
I did like showing that. It was clean. That was like my baby.
You loved that car.
I'm going to get shit if I say this. I cried when we sold it. I was literally in tears when we sold that car. I couldn't be there when it got on the trailer. I guess you could just say my old B8 S4.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to say that, though.
When
We
you were
can
doing
come back to
show
you, too.
car stuff before you got bit by the track bug,
Yeah.
was there, when you had your S4, was you like, man, when you're at shows, things that, was there another car you're like, I wish I had one of these?
If you say R34 GTR, so help me God.
This is not even a car. I always wanted a square body Dodge.
Okay.
A black one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a old one.
Yeah, an old one, old Cummins.
Yes, I've always wanted
Yeah.
one of those.
Yeah, single cab.
There you
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that's
qualifies.
the
That's the
one.
one, yeah. Okay.
All
That's
right.
the one. That's so like not even in our. That's not even in our like realm of what we
Checks
do
out.
now.
We'll check back in 5 years if you got it.
He won't let me get one.
I didn't
Womp
say
womp.
that. I've actually thought about trying to find one.
Oh my God, you shouldn't.
Can you like put the little like heart bubbles above my head
Oh
when
my
you
God.
edit that in there? Just kidding.
No.
Yeah. Any other surprises that we should know? I mean, before we get into your pick.
No,
three?
no.
Okay.
Surprises.
No,
I don't know.
I just
I was like, oh,
No,
I
right.
heard
there's-
you have something
nah,
to unveil. You
I
wanna do
knew
it on
she
the
wanted.
podcast?
I knew she wanted one like many years ago.
I've always
so
wanted
like
one, yeah.
I've kind of like tried to see if I could find something, but it'd be like a project, like a long-term
If
project.
there's
I could
anybody
find
driving in their car with their girlfriend right now, they're just like, why don't you do something like that for me?
one. I've thought about
We
it.
have a unique relationship like that where
Do you want to unveil what you're doing or not yet?
What's that?
And aren't you
With
doing
your
that, like some
car.
car or something?
Man, nobody knows what I'm doing.
say
That's
it,
what we're
say
trying to-
it.
Some
say
This is
it,
going to
say
air in like a
it.
week and a half, so I mean, it's your call if you do or don't.
Say it.
Will I have my trans back in a week and a half? She has my
That's-
transmission.
I have his transmission still.
Oh.
That's the only reason I haven't. I would have had it here today probably because I bought everything to get it finished up, but I had to give her my transmission last week.
Happy Mother's Day to me.
Is it an
So-
8Y?
No.
That's what the new ones are called, right? 8Y?
Yeah, I've thought about that, but no.
Okay.
Just say it.
Why?
Don't pressure him.
Okay, sorry. Don't say it.
All right, we can do your pick three. You can think about it if you want to.
Okay.
What's your pick three?
Ah, man, this is a tough one. Pick 3.
I told you to practice for this. I knew they were
Yeah,
gonna ask.
I know, but like I didn't want to. Like I wanted to kind of be put on the spot here, you know.
Oh.
So
Well, here you are.
I'm
Do
on
you
the
regret
spot.
it?
So honestly, like a track car, like if you know, probably a twin turbo R8. Just yeah, like
Who's going to build it?
probably like I'm really good friends with all the Boost Logic guys. So like I know those guys, so I'd probably have Boost Logic do it. So, but obviously like T1 is really good too. So, but yeah,
Cecilio's coming up.
yeah,
I would love
know
to
they
see-
are. They're
I-
all good.
I
They're all
think we
good
might
people.
see them in the Elite 8 next year. I don't
Yeah.
know. That run what he did with the green one this year was nasty.
Like that's always been my thing. Like that's like my dream car. You know, like would be an R8, so twin turbo. So, but yeah, that would be what I would want to race.
Okay.
So I know it'd be expensive,
Show
but
car.
there's no budget, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Show car. And I've always really liked the old square body Chevys. I've really liked
Okay.
those.
A man after my own heart. Okay.
Yeah. So
We're truck people now.
Yeah.
I've always been a truck
Just kidding.
person. So,
Yeah.
but I would like to restore like a square body.
Are we gonna be the next truck couple?
No.
Oh, dang it.
TikTok. Are you thinking like one of those big ones, like a dually, or
No.
like a small,
Like
cute
a
little
single
C10?
cab, yeah, like an 80s.
Okay.
I can't remember what they're not
daily.
the like the old ones, like not the C10s or anything like
Okay.
that. Just like can't remember, but yeah, can't remember.
Daily. What's your daily?
Daily, God,
A lot vehicle. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
It's a running joke.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, I come from the same sort of deal. Yeah. I know. The demos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
man, a daily. That's a tough one.
You think a Euro, American?
Yeah, see, I don't know.
I don't know if there's many great, amazing Japanese dailies like that are like cool.
Yeah,
I don't know. Is there? I might be wrong. I might get some heat for that one.
I've always kind of wanted to just buy like a C6 Z06 just Just to drive around, not to really soup up, but just, I don't know. I've
How
always
you
wanted a Corvette, just for a little bit.
Those are Vans. Those ain't New Balance.
He wants a Corvette?
Nah,
This is news to me.
I want to venture out of the Audi a little bit.
I want to experiment.
I don't want to build one. I
Are
don't.
we breaking up right now?
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Honestly, like,
You're like a sophomore girl in college right now. I just want to try new things.
God, Ultimate Daily. What would be
Okay,
the
that's
Oh, you don't
ultimate
want to lock
daily?
that in?
No, because that wouldn't be. That'd be like just.
That'd be another.
That'd be
fun
like
car.
a summer car, and then you just never get one again.
It's a daily though. You can live in Florida for a while or something. I don't know. You don't
Not South Dakota.
Unlimited budget
Put some
means you can move.
Blizzaks on it. You'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Seen that too.
No. Man. She already stole my daily.
You can do that too.
I mean, those RSQ8s are nice, but
You can do
You
R6
guys
Avant.
can have a matching set.
Exactly.
I do like we've talked about the wagons.
Yeah.
The R6s.
Yeah.
That'd probably be it. Yeah.
Not an M3 X Drive.
I can't do no BMW, man.
No.
I can't do no goddamn Beamer. Okay.
No BMW for me. I'm not a
Really? Even
Beamer
after
guy.
seeing the one that Ratified has here mopping up the
get it.
competition?
This was the first weekend I actually rode in a BMW.
Everybody speculates.
I had to
that's
see
the
what
new
it
car
see what it was
for me.
about.
Everyone thinks
They
I'm getting
are?
a BMW. Yeah, so many people are like G80. You getting a G80? I'm like, nah, dude, I can't do that. I got.
Then why would I be giving you your trans back for your?
Oh, maybe it's a DAZA swap. Oh.
Yeah, see, nobody really knows.
And nobody's going to
That
know.
does narrow it down just a little bit.
Oh, yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah.
All right, no Beamers. All right.
Well, so I sold the RS3, and obviously I still have the transmission and the motor out of it. So obviously I must have bought another motor to put in it.
So it's a TTRS. It has to be, right?
Guess I have to wait and see.
All right. All right. All right. Well, on that note, where can everybody find you guys? Please don't give your address. We've had that before, too.
At home eating snacks,
Yeah.
drinking Alani. I'm just kidding. You can find me on Instagram, whitegirlttrs.
Okay.
Facebook, Becca Marso. Don't add me as a friend. Just follow me. I'm not going to add you back.
I know I get
No
that on
offense.
Snapchat all the time, too, and I'm like,
Don't even find me on Snapchat. I won't.
Yeah.
No Snapchat. Twitter? No, not Twitter. I'm not on Twitter. What's the other one? TikTok. I'm on TikTok.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to age myself here. I'm on that
Well, you can
ticker
find me
talker.
on, what is it?
What's that one called? Yeah.
Oh, my God, I'm forgetting about it. What's the one before Facebook?
MySpace?
Oh, my
MySpace.
God,
There we
yeah.
go. I don't know. I can't believe I have space on that. As for you, do you have any socials?
Probably Instagram. So Stephan_RS3.
Or maybe not.
It ain't changing.
You want to shout out your dealership? Where's that at? Where you guys?
It's just a small little dealership. So exclusive motors. So just mainly just like cheaper vehicles. So
Okay.
It's in T.
I sell a lot of kid vehicles. A lot of like first time drivers.
Yeah.
All right,
Just
I'll be
'cause
sure
that's
to
the
send
price
my
range I'm at.
GTI so
Yeah.
that way it could blow up in some 16-year-old's garage. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like this car, or whoever has it next, it's gonna be a problem. Any events that people can find you at, by the way? Like, what's the next event? Like, not FL2K, but is there any events leading up to then where people can find you? Like local, regional stuff?
We might try to make it to Rally at the Valley in Marion, South Dakota, Thunder Valley, Dragways.
Okay.
We might try to go there.
That's something small though.
That's something small. That's real local.
Like I said, we're gonna take
Power
June.
Cruise
I think we're gonna take June
again.
off.
Yeah.
So I think July would be like the next month. We might like do something again, like big
Which will be Power Cruise.
power cruise.
Will be in July.
I know August is gonna be big. So Becca might be disappearing from the U.S. for a month.
Maybe. We're not sure yet.
All right.
That's cool.
She
I got interviewed for a
for a reality TV
reality
show.
TV show.
Oh, that's right. You can't disclose anything on that. Though,
I
can
don't
you?
know yet. They didn't tell me I couldn't. They didn't tell me I
Oh,
could, but
oh.
I'm not saying anything yet, I guess.
Yeah, we don't know. So
All right.
it's in the final stages of being.
the interview process.
And that'd
Yeah.
be a month?
Month long, 30
That's-
days of filming.
Yeah, it'd be like
Wow.
30 days of filming out of
The country.
the country.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be right around Power Cruise 2, so the second one.
Potentially, yeah.
Gotcha.
So she might not be here. It might just be me.
Just you with your BMW.
Exactly.
Well, sweet. Where can people find you, Dan?
You can find us at Gunna Garage with 2 N's. Trying to get content, pictures, videos, and stuff of this whole thing, but it's like there's so much to soak in. I keep forgetting to do anything.
It's your first power cruise, as it is for me. Same thing like, you know,
Yeah.
when you went to Texas 2K first time this year. It's just, you know, soak it in. That's usually how it goes.
The GT500 is great. I'm having a really good time out there. It's a lot of fun. This has been a blast.
About 50-50 win ratio. So, not too bad for a stock car.
What do you drive?
2021 GT500
Okay.
carbon fiber track pack car.
You like that?
Yeah, I do.
I got a buddy that's got one.
Yeah.
I
He
keep
goes,
trying to
"You
get him
like
to come
that?"
here too.
Yeah. No, this
So-
is great. Although when we're doing the straights, the car loves corners. It's just a track car.
So good.
When I come into that bank turn off of the drag strip there, I want to hit it at like 140 so bad. And no, I try and I shut her down. I think I've hit it at about 120.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
It's really fun. Our buddy Mark, who will be up here on Monday for our performance driving school day, because we're collaborating with Brainerd on that. He has one that makes 1,000 to the wheels.
Okay.
And that dude has like 60 track days under his belt. So I'd love to see how fast he takes that corner.
Yeah.
It's got to be nuts. All right, we're doing the thing, the Minnesota goodbye. On that note, you guys are listening to the Monoxide podcast, so obviously you found me. Thank you, Becca, Stephan, for coming on. Dan, thanks for existing, and we'll see y'all next time.